For the players who are on their way, this is WGC FESJI week. Although it really doesn't feel that way, but it is. WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational Week. 45 of the top 50 pros are going to be here this week. Can't wait for that. And like everybody else, we're going to be calling out there, trying to get as many people on as we can, keeping our attention riveted that way. But none of us, at least that I know of, will be out there. We're going to talk with somebody who's going to be out there all week. A little bit later in the program, John Varlas will join us. We'll also talk with Doug Barron, the Senior Tour, the Champions Tour, I guess is really how they like it put. They are starting this week in Flint, Michigan. Doug Barron actually was on the golf course when I got a hold of him today. He is practicing. He's going to join us at 5:30. We will talk golf with Ted Butler. And, oh, my goodness, that stampede they had at Summer Golf and Games, the old putt-putt, of which Ted teaches out there, that was just horrible, terrible, pathetic. And we'll ask Ted about how they are recovering from that for the first time, because we've had sports. We've got medals coming your way. David Cobb is going to join us. We're going to revise our baseball picks, taking in 8 from each league. So we will be very, very busy on a day, speaking of baseball, Brett, a depressing day. 2 baseball games now postponed because one team, the Marlins, had 4 cases of COVID, 11 players and 3 other personnel members, apparently all of them asymptomatic, but enough to cancel, because they're stuck in Philly, at least for a minute, the sick ones. So there is no game tonight between the Marlins and the Baltimore Orioles. And then the Yankees were supposed to come to Philly, where the Marlins were. And despite the fact that the Yankees sent their own disinfecting crew from New York, they came in, and I think they disinfected it, I believe the quote was 50 different ways. They still didn't feel safe enough. So that game between the Yankees and the Phillies tonight is postponed. And really and truly, I don't know how many more of these we could get, and the baseball season would continue. And again, this is the first sport not in a bubble really trying to go for it. And there's a lot of moving parts. Baseball says they kind of expected, at least the Dodgers owner did today, or the Dodgers president, excuse me. But my gut feel is fear. How's that, Brett? Best way I can put it.
Dave, I think you put it very well. I think it really kind of encapsulates, as the events of today in baseball, a little bit of microcosm of what we're going through as a country. The spreaders, maybe the super spreaders, the trickle-down effect, what one maybe derelict, not responsible, can do to 10 to 15 others, and then the ramifications, repercussions from that. We see that one team has now, in effect, shut down that team and 3 more. I don't know how much baseball can take. If the breaking news is right now, before we go out there tonight for a 5:05 game in Washington between the homeless Blue Jays and the defending champion Nationals, if that breaks, how much more can baseball take? But also, and trying hard to find the positive in this, we are a long way, literally and figuratively, from March 11th and Rudy Gobert night. We know what one did that night to the entire sports world. Now, 4.5 months later, we may look up and it be an era not to react like we did back in March to the events of today with mostly the Miami Marlins, but we didn't. And are we learning to live with it? We can't outfox it. We can't hope it away. We can't pray it away. We can't get mad at it. We can't get it to just nicely shoo away. We've had enough of you, COVID. It's not doing it. It is virulent. It is strong. It is real. It is fighting, and sadly there are a lot of people ailing from it, and some passing from it. There are a lot of people getting well from it. You can do anything you want to with the numbers, but 150,000 is a gigantic number.
It is, and I think it becomes more and more clear in my mind. There's really one of two ways that we will proceed, and I'm certainly not wise enough, honestly, to give you the direction of that. I do think you need to listen more to scientists than you need to listen to politicians, but my gut says
That's pretty wise comment there.
You either go where we learn to live with it, and I think that's what baseball is going to try to do here for a while to see what happens. I think we've learned to live with that in the bubble in Orlando, which seems to be working out. The golf community has learned to live with this, going from city to city in their own little bubble, and they have been able to overcome a few cases of COVID. So we either learn to live with it, accept some things, and try and move on until the science says no, or we just wait and cancel sports, at least sports, cancel that all until there is a vaccine. And again, there's more good news. Moderna now has been given government money and the right to go to their phase 3 trials, which is 30,000 people are going to get this new Moderna vaccine. It may turn out that we have to have a shot, and then a couple of weeks or months later you take another shot and maybe a booster in a year, which means we're going to have to manufacture a lot of this. But, we may have to wait for that to really get to normalcy. But by all these indications of all the science, and again, I listen to the scientists, I listen to the doctors, they sure seem to think that we can mass distribute this vaccine in time for normalcy next summer. So we may end up losing this sports year in some regard. It looks like golf's got it figured out where you're not going to lose it. But football, I don't know what's going to happen with baseball.
Well, you mentioned golf, and they are set up to do it, and they have done it exceedingly well. And I thought the Tim Fincham presser on that Tuesday or Wednesday in Hartford, when he could have but didn't wilt. Today, Rob Manfred, no statement from him, of course. He's never going to be reassuring and confident. You can count on that. But he hadn't wilted so far today, but very different. You're talking, first of all, the density issue, the density of a clubhouse, of a locker room, of a dugout, even with the new tent set up in the stands with no fans for players to repair to. And yesterday, I watched, Dave, I mean from Thursday to right now. I've got A's and Angels on right now on MLB Network. I have watched a lot of baseball, and for a while, it felt like, it was really good escape. It was the best 4 sports days of the calendar year for me, but it's always that specter of it hanging over. And yesterday, watching the Phillies, I see Bryce Harper out running the bases. Entombed. Mike Schilt all weekend, the Cardinals manager, I'm not kidding you. He looked like he was a mummy in a Roman sarcophagus. He was wrapped up to where you could only see his eyes between and he wears his bill down low anyway on his ball cap, but he was wrapped up all weekend like that. Fine, and that's probably best. But yesterday in that game against the Marlins, I thought Bryce Harper, I said, man, he's really more bundled up than he's been all weekend. Well, there was a reason. They got intel, and Joe Girardi told his guys, get away from each other, don't sit by each other. And the Marlins were really derelict in their COVID protocols. They just the idea of almost kind of winging it. Hey, we'll defy the old virus here. Really dumb. There's a tweet going out from a fake site of Ken Rosenthal's, the noted baseball writer, and with The Athletic, it's a fake site. It's got 6 followers at this site that Derek Jeter was one of the Marlins front office people to test positive. That is not Ken Rosenthal, blue check mark credibility.
Well, if it is, I'm sure that will come out. The oddest thing I think I saw in baseball this weekend was when Derek Shelton, the Pirates manager, got into an argument with the home plate umpire. So the home plate umpire starts walking toward the Pirates dugout, stops for a minute, goes through his pockets, and puts on his mask to argue.
Yeah.
And God, I couldn't help but chuckle when I saw that.
And you had a benches clearing. It wasn't close to a fight. Benches clearing discussion between the Brewers and the Cubs, and I'm thinking, you can't do that right now. You can't get near somebody else. And I saw a wise guy tweet also on Twitter this weekend. It said the virtual fans in the bleachers at Wrigley between the Brewers and the Cubs got into a fight.
Yeah. Well, that did get a little crazy. That was game 2. They were already to kill each other.
Wasn't nobody gonna fight though.
No. You know what? I've got this in my medals, but I'm going to mention it now.
Save them.
I just got to mention this.
First medal since March.
I know.
The 9th.
How about the fact that we have 30 baseball teams? We've only played either 3 games or 2 games.
Yeah.
And there is nobody undefeated, and there is no one that doesn't have a win. That's amazing to me.
And Dave, every win is all
critical,
but a 3-game winning streak.
That's right.
It counts as 2.7.
It's crucial.
Now, if that's over 162, what it really counts for, it counts as 1 out of 60.
Right. And that's
I heard a guy trying to make a case this weekend that it really counts as 3, but no, that would over 162, but we're not playing 162. We're playing 60 maybe, so it counts as 1.
That's what it counts at, because well, first of all, everybody's going to make the playoffs except for the really, 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 really bad teams.
And the Cubs.
No, the Cubs are 2-1 atop the
Kyle
National
Hendricks was
League
dynamite
Central.
Friday night. I mean,
he was
locked in.
Well, I thought personally,
nasty.
I thought he won the Cy Young Award that night.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then poor Drew's team on Friday night. It looked like
they've won
there
a
for
game.
a while though. They've won 2 games.
They've won 2 games.
They're 2-1, but on Friday night they got blasted by the Bo Sox, and their pitching was so bad I thought they were going to call to the bullpen for Dr. Fauci.
Well, I'm not sure Dr. Fauci could throw out of 100 pitches 2 strikes.
You don't think he could get anybody out?
I don't think so. I think he'd walk everybody.
People that think they could pitch, first of all, if you completed 2 outs, you would be so sore tomorrow you couldn't think about getting out of bed.
Oh, it depends on how old you are. If you're 23, you can get up and go throw. Not that you'd get anybody out, but you could go throw.
23-year-old out of the stands?
Yes.
He would feel terrible the next day. And get rocked.
At 23, I don't believe, and I hadn't been pitching every day, I believe I could have gone out, and I played a lot of different sports.
Dave.
I was playing basketball and soccer in those days. Oh, I was playing softball.
You're not talking about snow skiing.
Snow skiing. I was playing softball,
in
too.
Steamboat.
I was playing softball. There's no question in my mind. I could have gone out there and pitched an inning. What did you say, an inning or 2 innings?
An inning.
Inning.
Two outs.
No question. 2 outs, absolutely. You're talking, first
you would
of all,
have been dead the next day.
That would have been 9 pitches, 3 strikes each time. Goodbye.
Just come in Fergie Jenkins loading it up, huh?
Exactly. No question.
We were sitting in St. Louis one time, and one of the guys on the trip, we were watching batting practice. He said, I could hit that. You fool.
No.
You couldn't touch it.
No.
You couldn't touch it. You couldn't touch the batting practice guy.
Well, first of all, how many people have ever stood by a plate and watched a ball going anywhere from 85 to 100 miles an hour? Nobody.
Great point.
If you played high school baseball, you might have seen one guy that got into the 80s, unless that guy was
one
going
guy every now and then. And he was the hoss of the
right.
He was the one everybody feared. I mean, he was the Charlie Lee of American Legion baseball, playing for Bill Spiros. You saw that occasionally, and here's what he would do to you. He juices that first one up there about 85, 87, and you're going, uh-oh. And then here comes that curveball the second time, and I'm out. I mean, you don't want any more of it.
No. It's that to me, that's the hardest thing there is in sport, is to try to hit a good pitcher. Impossible.
It is very difficult. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the golden opportunity late July sales event. Great offers on all 2020 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of one of those beautiful all-new 2020 flagship LS500s, and you'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, the news today, we told you about the baseball and COVID, and it's depressing. We did learn today early. First story that broke today was that school for Shelby County Schools will 100% for at least the first semester be all virtual. I don't know if this was because of the survey that they took and they were basically asking you by last Friday what you wanted to do, or if they just felt, Joris Ray, the superintendent, that it would be safer to do it this way. All students will be virtual, and there's 100,000 students. So you're talking about 100,000 students and then 200,000 parents. So there's 300,000 people that are affected, and 15,000 teachers or employees that could be affected by this. The teachers, by the way, will have, I think, an option of whether to teach in classroom, do the virtual in the school, or do it from their homes. Some of that may be how competent are you technologically. Some of you may want to get out there and get to a school where you think you could get IT help and you would have enough room and you'd be alone in your room so you wouldn't need the mask on at all times. Or some of you just might say, I'm not taking any chances, I'm going to do it all at home. We shall see about that, but we know 100,000 students at Shelby County Schools will be all virtual. 400 new cases today. Good news is no new fatalities. 3,000 tests at 13.4% positivity. Bad news on that is now we've had 190,000 tests, and once again we are right at the 10% double figures of positivity, and I think at one point we were down in the low 8s, maybe even the high 7s before we started to escalate with cases again. We've now had 19,166, and in Shelby County, 262 fatalities, 94,000 cases in Tennessee with 967 who've perished, 52,000 cases in Mississippi, and they approach the 1,500 mark in fatalities. Arkansas, 38,000 cases and only 400 who have died. The USA now 4.4 million cases, and we've reached that 150,000 fatality mark. We've had 2 million who recovered. And in the world, on the dashboard, 16.5 million cases, 654,000 who have died, 10 million have recovered.
My top story now 4 days in for baseball, and it's officially in crisis. Maybe not a single bubble like the NBA was doing, but I voiced this a little bit last week. I don't know why, and I know they looked at it, but I don't know why, with all that time they had, they didn't try to develop 6 to 10 different bubbles around the country to try to have baseball in. But no, they didn't. They just kind of slung it all together, as baseball always does. Manfred should resign today. Biggest joke ever in sports. And what happens, for instance, Dave, if a governor of the state of Washington, Governor Jay Inslee, what if he said the Seattle Mariners, you don't travel to Texas? Now, would they even play in Texas because of the division, though?
No, if you couldn't, and I were the commissioner, I would say, okay, Texas, you're not returning to your home state, and whoever you were going to play, you're going to play them in their ballpark. Because I don't think you do anything else. Now, if the Astros are playing the Rangers, you got a problem.
Yeah, what if the governor of Massachusetts says, Red Sox, you don't go to Florida. You don't play. Go play the Rays or the Marlins. That's Eastern.
Well, I don't believe that the governor of a state would have jurisdiction on people leaving his state, but he could very easily say we're not.
He
having
sure can
baseball,
shut it down coming in.
We're not
That's
having
right.
baseball in this town. But
I bet he could turn enough screws with at Logan International with the tower. You don't let that plane take off if he wanted to.
I don't know. Now you're talking about basic freedoms.
But you're right about coming in.
Yeah.
We've been talking about a lot of freedoms since March 11th.
True, but for instance, there was a time where the governor of Arkansas would not allow travelers to stay in the state at hotels,
and it worked.
So that part is fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't believe you could stop somebody from leaving if you wanted to. You could certainly stop an event from happening in your state, and if enough states do that, then it's out of Manfred's control. That is basically the government saying we're taking care of what we think is the best way to keep our people protected, and so we're shutting down sports.
In the best interest of the game, so to speak.
Yeah, or in the best interest of the state of whatever they are the governor of. And then, we could have an issue with the federal government trying to override that. And I have no idea what would happen if that were to be the case. I hope we don't get there. I really, truly hope we don't get there. And if we got to that kind of a stage, maybe it would be in the best interest of everybody where a commissioner would have the guts to say, okay, if they're all saying this, maybe we got to listen. And it's going to cost us a year, but we'll just have to make do. I think we are somewhat away from that. I hope so, anyway.
Not top story of the day.
I got to give you the case of Lou Williams, the Los Angeles Clippers guard, who was given permission to leave the bubble, was supposed to take, like Zion did, tests every day, and if they were negative when he came back, there would be, 4 days in quarantine, or 2 days in quarantine, and you're good. You're good to go. He was actually going to view a funeral in Atlanta. Well, he may have gone to the funeral, but then Lou Williams took another turn. He went to a strip club. He was photographed on, I think it was Snapchat, of being in that strip club. The guy who took the picture was a rapper who immediately realized what a mistake he'd made, and he deleted it and basically said that picture that I had up there was taken several years ago. Well, it turns out the picture shows a mask that was given to the players in the bubble in Orlando. He is busted. He will miss at least 2 games because now he's got a quarantine for 10 days, all because he was so selfish that he went to go to a strip club. And this is what worries you when you have people, and I know the NFL has just put forth in their agreement with the players stiff penalties if you don't do as you are supposed to. And this is happening in a bubble. Can you imagine when everybody is sort of free on your own, to roam on your own, and temptation is there? Boy, makes you worry.
My not top story, the first Monday of sports and the first time we will have medals about 3:45 since Monday, March 9th. First Monday of team sports since Monday, March 9th. If they get all these games in. We hadn't had a completed game yet. Almost feels like something like the Big East tournament could go down today on that Thursday that they start but they don't finish. But games today from 2:40 till the Mets and the Red Sox play tonight. First pitch at 6:30. It feels fragile. It feels precarious. It feels dangerous.
It's just another time. Just a nutsy time. It was nutsy at the summer putt-putt, or the summer golf and games, too, the other night. Our friend Ted Butler will talk golf. We will talk about the 3M tournament in Minneapolis, of which Michael Thompson was a winner, and I'm going to give him a medal a little bit later because it's been a long time since he had won. That's perseverance, that is for sure, and what it means to him. And we'll talk about the WGC FESJI. Ted Butler is right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. This is Sports Time on Sports 56.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
These are certainly unprecedented times, but as a plasma donor, you can receive $100 for your first donation. Plasma Biological Services is seeking healthy donors, as well as those who have fully recovered from COVID-19. Your plasma may be used to help those who are still fighting this virus. If you have tested positive for COVID-19 and have fully recovered, then please call 866-END-CV19. That's 866-END-CV19. You can also go online to GrifolsPlasma.com. That's GRIFOLS Plasma.com to see how your plasma can help save others that are hospitalized with COVID-19. If you're eligible to donate, new donors will receive $100 for their first donation, and current donors will receive additional compensation in August. Please call 866-END-CV19. That's 866-END-CV19 or online at GrifolsPlasma.com for more information.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and find your right fit. At Edwin Watts, they take customer service to a whole new level. Not only do they fit for clubs, they take pride in servicing customers throughout the entire store. They'll help you find the right shoes, bags, gloves, balls, apparel, and more. At Edwin Watts, you'll find name brand equipment at guaranteed lowest prices every day. So buy it, try it, they know you'll like it because Edwin Watts help you find the right equipment. Visit Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Save now on your 2021 swimming pool at Family Leisure. Buy now at 2020 pricing and save your spot for the first installation of 2021. Patio furniture 20 to 30% off. Play gyms in stock. Beat the heat with an indoor game table or slate pool table. Pool toys and floats up to 30% off. Family Leisure, Whit Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Where family and fun come together.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome in. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. I hope you maybe went by Family Leisure and are taking advantage of 20 to 30% off on patio furniture right now. Those play gyms that run out of, they are back in stock. If you want to beat the heat, there's an indoor game table that's got your name on it, maybe even a slate pool table. Pool toys and floats are up to 30% off. And you know they sold so many above-ground swimming pools that they're out of the 2020s, but you can save now on a 2021 swimming pool, paying at 2020 pricing, and you'll be the first on the list for installation next year. All you got to do is get there. I-40 and Whidden Road. You know, you go a little bit north, look to your east, and there it is. It's the place that is making backyards a staycation paradise. Go see all my friends at Family Leisure. Ted Butler joins us now. He always does on Monday. I hope you are safe and sound. I don't know if I doubt you were around for the ruckus that took place over the weekend, but what an ugly sight. I have seen the video of the stampede, people throwing fireworks at people, people breaking the plexiglass, young people, 300-400 of them. Probably shouldn't have had that many congregating in the place, to be totally honest, but the video is incredibly ugly. I hope you are okay, Ted Butler.
Yes, I am a little bit horrified by the whole thing. There's different stories going around. The basic problem was some non-refundable tickets that they weren't going to refund Saturday, but would the next day. And then there was a small group outside, or actually a big group outside, that somebody told me that had been hovering around for a while, nothing to do with putt-putt, and they all came in at the same time, and one thing led to another, and I guess everybody saw the videos, but so nobody was hurt. It was lucky, but what a terrible thing! What a mess!
You're not kidding, and it is amazing, honestly, after what I saw, that nobody was hurt. That is a miracle. That truly is. Here we go. You know, the thing I like about this golf tournament in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, the 3M, is you can really have drama at the end. We saw that with Matthew Wolff the year before, but because there's a drivable par 4 16, a pretty tough 17 where you can have some disaster on a par 3, and then 18, which many of the pros can get to that par 5 in 2. You can make up a lot of strokes or have disasters on those last 3 holes. Michael Thompson did not have any disaster yesterday like he did on Saturday, and he was able to win for the first time in 7 years. That was a heck of a story, Ted Butler.
Well, what a finish he put on. The sand shot at 16, that may be one of the best sand shots I've ever seen. From that far away, going over the mound towards the water. You hadn't won in 7 years. I mean, that was an unbelievably great shot. And then the next 2 holes, he played them just right by the book, right down the middle, on the green, 20 feet, 18, 2 shots, layup. I mean, he really showed his mettle, and especially after 7 years.
Right.
That was really impressive.
Ted, that shot, that long bunker shot, first and foremost, I know practice. And not many people, a lot of places don't have the facility to practice like that. A lot of people don't have the time and the patience to really want to do that. If you have all those things, what's the key to that kind of shot?
I think for him it was just the nerve to pull it off. If he hits it a smidge fat, it hits that slope and backs up 40 feet. Then he's got a chance to 3-putt, and if he hits a half inch from the ball, it goes over and goes in the water. You just don't practice that shot very much, and especially under those circumstances. But all credit to him. I mean, what a unbelievable shot that was.
Along those lines, for those of us that love to play the game, we all know, and practice for that matter, sometimes in warm-up, how you would strike a greenside bunker shot where you open up the face and, I picture a dollar bill and the ball's in the middle of the dollar bill and I try to enter in there somewhere. But I always have trouble with the long bunker shot. What's the key to executing that long bunker shot?
Guts. I mean, you got to make a big swing. You got to have the courage the conviction to hit an inch behind the ball instead of 2 or 3. Sand shots themselves, around the green from a decent lie aren't all that difficult. But when you get 60, 70 feet away or whatever it was,
yeah.
And that lake sitting back there, that just I don't know how many guys could have hit that shot at that time. I think most of them would have hit it short and spun it back off the hill and tried a 2-putt. But I don't think there's any secret to it other than just being up there. You know how to do it as a professional, but being able to do it under those circumstances that was something.
Ted, why do you think it took Michael Thompson 7 years to win again?
I don't know. I don't remember him very much 7 years ago. I don't remember the first tournament he won, and I don't remember his name very much over the years. I don't know whether he had injuries or I don't know. I was fairly surprised to see him. I guess was the PGA National 7 years ago he won, but I truly don't remember it.
I don't either, and it was a good win for him. And now he is in the field at Memphis. 78 of the best golfers in the world will be here this week, Ted, and they've got a newly revamped TPC South win in front of them. All right, give us next Sunday what you think the low man's going to be. What will win the WGC FESJI?
Oh man, I don't know. I haven't been out there. I don't know exactly what they've done to make it tougher or longer or shorter or tighter or faster. You'd have to think in decent weather conditions, 15 under, maybe 13 under, 15, something like that. It's a pretty hard golf course. If the weather comes up a little bit or gets windy or something, it could be lower, higher. But it's just hard to tell. I'd say around 15 under.
I sit here and I watch the great players, and I thought Tony Finau was going to be a great player. Tony Finau and the guys on CBS and also the guys on PGA Tour Radio on Sirius XM are all starting to question now Tony Finau. He is a top 15 to 20 player. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He is a top 150 player on Sunday with a 72.8, I think it is, stroke average on Sundays. What is missing with Tony Finau?
Well, it looks like down the stretch, when you get to that level and hit the ball as far as he does, a fraction off. If you're trying to hit that little baby fade down the left side of the fairway and your swing speed's 125 miles an hour and you're a fraction off and you pull it into the rough and then you can't even hardly advance it on the next shot. And Thompson, he hit that on 18, he hit that perfect day. That's what Finau needed to hit. And I think maybe the guts, the courage, the conviction, the belief in your own swing. I like the way Falvo described it, and just a quick twitch from the top or a quick knee at the bottom, and you go from a perfect shot to dead. And if you haven't done it before, there's nothing to fall back on. Like standing on the tee, go, well, I've hit the shot plenty of times, I can do it again, and he hasn't. So there's got to be some negative thing going in there, to go along with his swing. Just I don't know, if he does it once, he may win 6.
So, somebody says he's searching for a new caddy now. Yeah, so I don't know. He's got to do something differently.
But it could be this, Ted. What if Tony Finau is just good and that's it? He's not great.
Well, that could well be. I mean, there's a lot of guys like that. Charles Howell, he's good. Can't win a tournament, but he's good.
He's over this career, and let's not forget he came up with David Gossett, so that's a long time ago. And Charles Howell III has 3 tournament wins in all those years, which is just unbelievable. And now Tony Finau, we've been talking a lot about Tony Finau for about 3-4 years here now, and the guy has 1 win in Puerto Rico, which is not exactly one of your upper echelon tournaments. No offense to the Puerto Rican Open.
Well, it's just got to be. I think he has to win one and do something great on the last 3 or 4 holes to give himself the confidence to do it. And I remember when Gossett was a kid, and I used to work with him all the time. His adversary was Charles Howell.
Right.
He said, "All I want to do, if I can beat Howell, I'll be great." And he's probably right, but he couldn't. But he just. That was his benchmark golfer when he was in the HAGA and all that stuff. I don't know about Finau, though.
What do you think about this week? Who do you like in the tournament at Southwind?
I like DJ because he's got to be hot. After shooting 80-80.
80-78.
Yeah, wherever he shot.
WD.
And WD and a bad back, so he says.
Oh, well.
Made my back hurt, too.
Oh, well, the old bad back thing is that, and they all probably do have bad backs. I mean, but I think he'll be pretty annoyed. But there's going to be, it should be a great tournament. I mean, you got best players on the planet. I mean,
best field we've ever had.
Excited. Yeah. So it's just have to watch it on TV, right?
Yep. 45 of the top 50 will be there. 8 of the top 8 will be there. The only real name that we sit here and wish we had would be Tiger Woods. You got Fowler. You got Mickelson. You've got every charismatic draw, and you've got every numerical draw.
Well, we knew Tiger wasn't coming. That's he's building for these next 11 months. But I don't know, DJ, Justin Thomas has been playing great. He's probably got a little fire under him after losing a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
But that's the fun of it all. Koepka, Rory. There's just I remember last year being able to follow Koepka and Rory around. That was that was enlightening. I think I've forgotten how good and how far those guys hit it.
That was some duel. That was a good Sunday.
Yes, it was a great tournament. I kind of expect the same thing this year without the noise.
Well, it was certainly enlightening to see what Koepka could do to Rory, but then Rory came back, what was it, 2 weeks later? And
he did,
and put it to Koepka.
Because Koepka kind of beat him down in Memphis, and McIlroy bowed up in the rematch.
There was a part in Ben Hogan's book one time talking about how come he couldn't win every tournament. He said, because guys in the field could be at the top of their game that week.
They're good, too. That's right.
They're at the top of their game that week. Well, I'm playing pretty good, but there's a lot of great players out there now. Coming from everywhere.
I don't think people realize, like this week in Memphis, it's 78, but so in essence, you got to beat 77 of them, and then on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, there's about 6 or 8 of them you sure got to fend off. Winning a golf tournament would have to be one of the hard things to do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every week you've got to beat 155 people, and it really is hard to do. And it's incredible thinking about Tiger winning 7 tournaments in a row a few years ago. That's just hard to even fathom.
Masterpiece.
The talent level out there.
Well, the great thing about this is there is no cut either. So a guy like Michael Thompson, who the first time he won, he had 2 kids. Now he's got 4. He just got in not only to Memphis, and there's no cut, so he's guaranteed. What is the minimum? 75 or 80 grand.
Yeah, dead last, pretty good.
He also got into Augusta. He got into the U.S. Open. He got into the PGA.
Got into Augusta for next year.
Championship.
He won in the fall. Yeah, got in for 2021.
Oh, he did not get in for the fall event?
No.
Huh.
But he can wait.
He can wait.
It's still a life-changing experience when you win a PGA event. All the doors that open up, the endorsements, you get that name behind the title behind your name, and it's a game changer.
No doubt about it.
Makes Tuesday afternoon corporate events a little more lucrative too.
Oh yes.
So Tad,
anywhere you go,
I'm assuming we're putting you down. DJ is your horse this week?
I don't know. Let me think about that. I think I'm going to change it to Justin Thomas.
Okay, you got it.
DJ may have that back. I don't know.
Justin Thomas is your guy. Ted Butler, thank you. I'm glad you survived all the craziness at your place, and we will talk to you next week.
Too.
Take care,
talk
buddy.
To you next week. Okay, bye.
Bye. That is Ted Butler on what we hope to see. Great golf this week, and I'm pretty sure that we will. Let us take a timeout. When we come back, for the first time since March, we got medals.
Do we have the music?
Yeah, I got it ready.
Okay.
I didn't delete it.
Excellent. Take the timeout. Medals are right around the corner.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial.
Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
No, but maybe time for a reality check. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
For the last 7 years, Southern Airways has made your weekend trips to Destin quick and easy. Avoid the big airport hassles and long boarding lines using Southern's private terminal at Memphis International. Flights to the Emerald Coast operate every Friday and Sunday. Southern also offers daily service to Dallas, Branson Harrison, and El Dorado.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
Did you know that right now, Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's 15% on top of the money Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? Your dog to make you breakfast in bed with Belgian waffles and fresh fruit compote? As nice as that sounds, that's probably never going to happen. But at least there's never been a better time to switch to Geico. Save an extra 15% when you switch to Geico by October 7th. Visit geico.com to learn more.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Oh, it's been a long time since we got to give away medals, but we get to this hour. So for the first time since the shutdown in March, let's give them our medals. I'll start with my bronze, and it is exactly what I talked about, the Major League Baseball competitive start. There's no way that I can remember in the last few years where you had played 3 games and you wouldn't have somebody that swept the series. There would be one winless team or 2 winless teams. We've had everybody's 2-1 or 1-2. That just goes to show you this could be a great, great mini baseball season if indeed we get to play. Silver medal, Michael Thompson. First time in 7 years that he won a tournament and what it means to him. We just talked a little bit about that. Here's a guy who gets into major tournaments now. He's got eligibility on the big PGA Tour through the 22-23 season. He's got 4 kids, and now he finally has a little bit of breathing room. And to have the tenacity to stay with it after you won when you were pretty young and to go 7 years and still toil and still make it, that to me is a great story. And then I'm going to give a gold medal to the fans of 901 FC that went to AutoZone Park, and every video shot that I saw, everyone behaved. And I'm really proud of that. Everyone who went wore masks, everyone obeyed the distance. I know they had assigned times coming in. We're going to have John Varlas on later to talk some golf and also to talk about 901 FC. He covers them. I want to know how everybody left the stadium. But here's just some food for thought as we give you the fact that they had 1,000 tickets to sell, according to what we heard, and they sold 850. And I go back to NASCAR. They had the ability at Bristol, because it's a 162,000-seat stadium, to sell 30,000, and they sold 20,000 tickets. It does seem to me that there is a message subtly being sent that, we do really want to have sports, but we're kind of afraid to go see sporting events. When you only get 2/3 of the allotted tickets to be sold at NASCAR, and then on this one, they averaged 6,000 or 7,000 people. You were able to sell 1,000 and only 850 showed. There is a timidity there.
I think the old market will speak, and I think people, by and large, mostly know how and the ways to protect themselves, and it will be a while before people really barnstorm restaurants and going back out and getting back into the swing of things. My bronze, for all the baseball I watched this weekend, just from one weekend, best team I saw was the Atlanta Braves. They were really impressive up against, I think, a pretty good Mets team in New York. My silver goes, as yours did, to Michael Thompson. That long bunker shot, it sealed it for him. He knew he had it from that point, and that was sack of nerves to have that shot pulled off, because that could have gone a lot of different directions, even for those guys. But my goal goes to, for one weekend, sitting on top of the American League East, Drew Barrett's Orioles.
Enjoy it, Drew.
It's our year.
This
is it.
Isn't that what you said last year? What was their record after 9 games last year? It was
I believe
6-3, maybe.
No, I think it's 7-2.
7-2, and then it
was it really?
Oh yeah. He was crowing. He was so excited, and that lasted all of about the next week and a half. It was over after they lost 8 or 9 in a row.
It's kind of cruel, isn't it, Drew?
A little bit, but I'm used to it.
I mean, we tried.
You grow up an Orioles fan, you get used to disappointment.
Yeah.
We tried to let Dave back in the golf picks this week.
We really did.
Well, I did come back slightly. I mean, at
Ever
least
so
in the
slightly.
race, and now we got 2
Are you
tournaments.
Are you looking at me now on Zoom? That's how slightly it was.
Let me look at you in Zoom.
Looking good too, aren't I? Right there. That's how slightly it was.
No.
About vein of sausage linked slightly.
That is not accurate. I hate to say, not accurate at all.
You got a rust?
I do have a rust. Well, Tony Finau is part of my rust. How can you be that good that long?
Sounds bitter to me. Sounds bitter, doesn't it, Drew?
And on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you play so well. And really, when he had a chance on Saturday to sort of take over, when the heat is on, somehow Tony Finau ends up in the fire.
It happens.
He
it
can't
happens.
get it done. He just, you hate to use the choke word, but
I didn't go there.
He seems to do that. And then
you went there, and it sounds bitter, Dave. And
I'm not
Dave,
bitter.
That's not you.
I'm not bitter. I still won. I won more than anybody by a long shot this week. And
but you could have won so much more, Dave.
I could have won a little more. That is true. And he just did not play very well.
My theory did. What if he is just really good?
Well, just really good.
That's okay.
Just really good wins more than one tournament.
Yeah.
Just average can win a tournament. Look at all the one-time winners. You can't.
He's not Robert Garrigus, but he's not Matt Kuchar either.
No. But if you look at his swing, his length, what he can do to make shots, he should be Matt Kuchar or better, and he's not.
Dave, isn't it an admission when you have that putting, that stroke, that grip, that strategy for putting? Isn't that an admission you can't putt?
I don't know. They're always toying with it. Charles Schwartzel, did you see his new putter? It's like a backward putter, and he's got his whole left arm down the whole shaft of the putter and 2 fingers of his right hand. They all try to find different ways to putt, that's for sure. But the really good ones don't ever change. You ever see Tiger change?
Rush?
Oh,
nope.
The COVID baseball story.
Did you ever see
today.
Greg Norman change?
No.
Nope.
The COVID baseball story is my big rust. Go ahead.
Yeah, same here. I think it's unanimous. The Marlins protocol of it was so shaky and so sketchy, and now it imperils the game. It imperils sport. We got to get this right. I mean, we have to have some direction. We have to have some leadership. And I'm not blaming them for the virus. I'm blaming them for the handling of it.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, if you're careless in your protocol, the odds are better that you're going to be the first ones to sort of blow it. I mean, would you be shocked if you found out Lou Williams, when he came back to the bubble, tested positive after going to a strip club in Atlanta? No.
I wouldn't be now. He has a pretty sincere defense of himself, and he went hard at Kendrick Perkins today on Twitter. And Lou Williams has a pretty flawless reputation in his career. Now, he's trying to make the case that he legitimately went to the place just for the wings, insert your joke there. But he didn't like Kendrick Perkins coming after him, and he's lashed back a little bit. But we all right now, aren't we all in jeopardy of getting it in an innocuous manner, in a way we didn't see coming? We all have to treat everybody else like they have it.
Well, I hear that notion. There's a big difference in letting your guard down a little bit with your family, hugging your son or your daughter, as there is, that you say you're going to a funeral and you stop by a strip club on your way to get the wings. Whether that's legit or not, you still went to a strip club. And you didn't tell anybody you were doing that.
Who among us hadn't done that? Go to a funeral and stop by a strip joint. Come on, Dave.
Yeah. I can tell you the ones that have not been married.
And the first thing they say is, why are you dressed so nice? You preaching somewhere today? No, I just been to a funeral.
Crazy stuff. Those are your medals. They're brought to you in part by Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. Roofing is an essential emergency service. Sadly, a lot of us don't realize it until the damage starts affecting the inside of your home. You look up, there's a stain, and is that stain bigger than yeah, it's a lot bigger. I need help. Please don't let the problem get that bad. Call now if you haven't thought about your roof in years, or if you do see a little spot and you're not sure. Brian Elder will come out and make sure that you are okay. Simple number. Everybody knows it by now. 901-867-0303. That's 867-0303. They use only the best products on the market. They also provide their customers with one of the best warranties for roofing contractors, period. At Brian Elder, they stand by their no questions asked warranty, which sets them apart from all the others. The other great thing is they use the latest technology and equipment. You heard them say they can measure your roof from outer space, and that is the truth. So if you have a question, maybe it's insurance involved, maybe you just have that little stain getting bigger and you don't know, call the guy for a free consultation. It's simple. 867-0303. That's 867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. 1 hour in the books. When we come back, David Cobb from CBSSportsline.com. He is next.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Save now on your 2021 swimming pool at Family Leisure. Buy now at 2020 pricing and save your spot for the first installation of 2021. Patio furniture 20 to 30% off. Play gyms in stock. Beat the heat with an indoor game table or slate pool table. Pool toys and floats up to 30% off. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Where family and fun come together. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's time for an upgrade. Beneath your feet, with beautiful, durable new carpet from the Home Depot. And right now, free installation. Choose from a wide selection of styles. Order samples. Schedule a measure and installation, all online. It's never been easier to have carpet you love, right where you live. New carpet and free installation, only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Free installation on carpet $6.99 or more and $1.25 or more per square foot, U.S. only.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome in on a day that city schools decided all classes first semester will be virtual, on a day where 2 baseball games have now been postponed because of COVID. We welcome you back into the Family Leisure Studios. Talk a little bit about college football and golf, because David Cobb, our friend from CBS Sports, will be joining us, and I believe he's going to be at the golf tournament. But I know you've also been involved in a bunch of the stories this week with college football, including the quarantine story of Michigan State. And I don't know, David, as you looked at what's going on and you see what happened with baseball, what's your sense of what happens with college football right now?
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing that literally just came out in a letter that the Clemson athletic director sent to their fans is a couple of dates to watch. We already knew the NCAA Board of Governors meeting was going to be August the 5th, but Dan Radakovich, the Clemson AD, reiterated in this letter that he just posted that August the 5th will be a date when the ACC gets together immediately following that NCAA meeting. So that's an important 2 days to watch coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think in that time frame we'll sort of get a better sense of it. But, yeah, so far it's not good news, I wouldn't say, in football, because you had Rutgers and Michigan State now both going into full-on 14-day quarantines for their entire teams, basically. So that's because of these guidelines that say if you've had a high-risk contact, you're supposed to self-isolate for 14 days. And, I mean, the criteria for a high-risk contact is pretty minimal. I mean, if you've been around somebody who tests positive, you're pretty much that's pretty much considered a high-risk contact. And so I just don't know how programs are going to avoid those, to be honest. I think ultimately maybe some of them will find creative ways to look the other way, if that's what it comes to. But I'm not feeling overly optimistic. Waffles every week, but as we see here, on July 27th, I don't know. I'm not feeling great about it.
David, on Friday night, Oklahoma released that they were moving their opener to the week 0 date, August 29th. That's 33 days from right now. And just the official Oklahoma Twitter site release of it, you saw it all in the COVID world. You saw tweet after tweet saying, way to go, stand up, we got to plow on. And then you saw you heartless, money-grubbing, boomer's got a boomer. I mean,
I know. Well, I think the Tennessee fans didn't like it because what they immediately interpreted that as Oklahoma trying to have 2 weeks to prepare for their game against Tennessee instead of 1. And then Tennessee fans started for Philip Fulmer to move their opener up a week so they could have an open week going into the Oklahoma game. I would have to think that part of that to give yourself more cushion. So you play that first game and you sort of reassess where things are. It gives you more time if something goes wrong. The longer you can stretch out the season, the more leeway you give yourself to have to deal with a situation in terms of the coronavirus. So I would think that's mainly the standpoint that they're coming at that from, because like one of the things that they made a really big deal out of in the Pac-12, like with the Pac-12 and the structure that they're moving toward, is the ADs are touting the fact that their plan is going to give them 14 weeks to play the 10 games. They're putting that out there as though that's hey,
I kind of like
we're giving ourselves cushion here, exactly, because as we're seeing with Major League Baseball, and as Bob Bowlesby, the commissioner of the Big 12, said publicly today by the Des Moines Register, we're expecting these sorts of interruptions. I think referring largely to what we're seeing with the Marlins. So I think that's where it's coming from is not so much a let's get our first TV check cashed a week early. I think it's a let's stretch this thing out as long as we can so that we can have a little bit of leeway to mess around if things go wrong.
I agree with you. I could understand Tennessee's fans being a little squirmy about it but if you look at it, Oklahoma's actually built in a week between their first three opponents, the way they've got that set up. But I do think all of that was for wiggle room, not necessarily more preparation or rest, but wiggle room if you've got to if you're going to lose a game, that you've got other spots you can put that game in, that you might have a common date with the team that you lose that date. I just was shocked that they would move it up because as Brett said, 33 days.
Yeah.
What are the odds that we will really be ready to go in 33 days?
Yeah,
I don't think
guess,
they're very good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's going to depend on what. Well, okay, here's one thing that maybe we need to be true for. Assuming we're all in the camp of desiring to see college football, which, I mean, I know among the three of us and probably 95% of the listeners, that's kind of something that we all want, is we almost, I think, should cheer for these universities to limit the return of in-person classes. I mean, I'm sorry, I know that's a huge part of the educational experience, but from a safety standpoint for everybody, how is it going to work if there's 10, 15, 20, 25,000 students on campus? I don't know how that's going to work from a safety standpoint. However, if you have some, this is what they're doing with Pac-12. They are still preserving some minuscule portion of on-campus learning, and the speculation being that that's to justify keeping the athletes on campus. If you can find if you can keep the ROTC program, find a reason to keep them on campus, then you can find a reason to keep the football players on campus. But if you've got the football players on campus and you don't have 20,000 other students on campus, I feel like the chance of avoiding the virus is a lot better. So I don't know. That's sort of maybe a backwards way of thinking. But if these universities keep moving towards largely online learning, and these football programs can do a decent job of clogging up their players' weekend schedules with practices and workouts, maybe they can limit their exposure. Well, that, I don't know.
What do you think the average? What do you think the average number of games will be played for FBS teams this year? 8, 9, 10? I have some people telling me going to play a full 12-game schedule. I don't laugh in their face, but I laugh behind their back.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, maybe the Big 12 and the AAC are still holding out hope for that, but no, I don't know. I mean, I'd be happy if we get any games, to be honest, because it's starting to feel like death by a thousand cuts. Because you got the deal. Like today, I wrote about the MAAC. We're not talking not the Division I football conference. The MAAC. They play Division I basketball. They don't even play football, but.
That is the Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but it is significant, and here's why. Because that's another Division I conference that won't be playing fall championships. So one of the things that the NCAA Board of Governors is going to decide on August 4th is whether to sanction fall championships. And if they decide not to, it'll largely because of decisions that, like what the NAAC did today. Because they're going to say, well, half of our conferences have already said they're not playing this fall anyway. So what's the point in even having fall championships? And then at that point, the FBS and the college football playoff, they can plunge forward because the football championships are not sponsored by the NCAA. The college football playoff and the bowls are distinct entities. So what that will do is if the NCAA calls off fall championships, you're going to see every conference, every school call off fall sports for everything except football, and then football is going to be left on an island. I mean, that's kind of, that's going to be hard. That's going to be hard to do, to pull off in a number of ways. And so, I mean, just any games at this point, I would be thrilled with, because it's just every little thing is starting to add up, and the cases are continuing to add up too, which is a huge thing. That we were kind of looking towards over this, 2 or 3 week period that headed towards the end of July. I mean, we're not seeing positive movement in that direction. So, I mean, at this point, I'd just be happy to get any games in. And if it's only 6 games, then I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's just, whatever it is, I don't know. I'd be happy with anything.
let's go back to the Board of Governors discussion. If the Board of Governors decided not to play fall sports, do you think the FBS schools, and there's 130 of them, and they're not under the jurisdiction, as you just mentioned, of the NCAA, and yet they really are the financial salvation for all those sports that the Board of Governors could shut off for this fall. What do you think those FBS schools will do? Will they go against that and try to play as many games as they can because there's so much money tied into it? Or would, because some of those presidents that are on the Board of Governors are members of that, that body, and they're voting to cease it. What do you think is the outcome of a Board of Governors vote to cease fall sports?
Well, it'll dwindle immediately to FCS only because the NCAA does sanction the fall football championships for FCS,
right.
Division II, Division III. So all that football goes out the window right away. So at that point, you are literally left with FBS football, and that's it. And so I think at first they will indicate that they are going to try and figure out a way forward. I mean, they don't need the NCAA's fall championships. There's nothing. I mean, there are no fall championships involved for FBS football. So, I mean, they could do it just from a competitive standpoint, but it kind of removes the underpinning of the entire model because, I mean, at that point, they're literally the only show in town, and so I just think it kind of chops out the legs from which they're standing on, and it kind of makes the margin for error even more slim than it already is. So I think they would try. I do. I don't think that the NCAA Board of Governors voting to postpone or cancel fall championships would result in the immediate death of the FBS football season. But I think it would make the ground that they're standing on even more flimsy than it already is, I guess.
How much trouble are the bowl games in, David, even the more traditional ones? Will we have the Rose Bowl at the Rose Bowl Stadium at 4:30 Central Time on January 1, 2021?
Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. That's a unique dynamic. ESPN's going to have a big voice in that discussion. I mean, they're kind of financial underpinning of a lot of the really the entire bowl season. I mean, I know there's a few games that the rights are held, by other networks, but I mean, I don't know. That's tough. I mean, could this be the impetus for, we know it's going to change a lot of things financially. Does this result in a scaling back of the bowl season in the long run? Are there some of those newer bowls that don't have the traditions and the heritage and the history that fizzle out because of this? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like bowl games, especially the lower tier. I mean, the Beef O'Brady Bowl. Sorry, but like I don't see why two teams would gather in a neutral site under these circumstances to do something like that. I don't feel like that's really that practical under these circumstances.
Well, especially if
you could even see the Rose Bowl, and they did it for the New Year's Day 1942 game right after Pearl Harbor because they for safety purposes. You could see the Rose Bowl not in a hot spot like California. If it is still that, then the least of our concerns are having the dadgum Rose Bowl. But you could see them have to move it to Kansas City. You could see the Orange Bowl, not in Miami for a year, but in Cleveland, just somewhere safe.
Yeah, well, to me, if we get there, if we're even having those conversations in October and November, it's been a great success, and we figured out a way to pull this off, and that would be a tremendous victory. If we have to have those conversations about moving a bowl game for 1 year to a different site, I mean, that'll mean that there's been enough games to justify even having bowl games, and that'll make me happy because you know what? That'll probably mean that there'll be a way to play college basketball if we're still playing college football.
What about a bubble for the bowl season?
Yeah,
a bubble for the playoff teams.
Well, that's what I'm saying about maybe we should be cheering for this university chancellors and presidents to be limiting the return of students to campus because that in effect, if you end up with, you're never going to be able to bubble the athletes altogether. But if they cancel the NCAA sanctioned championships and chancellors and presidents are limiting the number of students on campus, then you are building a semi-quasi bubble for football. I mean, so that's honestly the best bet is for us to have to come as close to canceling everything as possible. And then you look up and, the football players are the only ones left on campus. And, they know that they're going to get yelled at and run to death if they go to a party on Friday night. So, here we are. They're only ever seeing each other. And, that's honestly the model. And no one's going to say that. I know that Bob Bowlesby and Mark Emmer aren't going to support that or advocate for that or even acknowledge that. But, that's sort of the best case scenario for football.
I think you have to look to see what the capacities will be. I mean, if you take a look at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and I'm certainly not putting words in Steve Earhart's mouth. I'm just speculating. If we have 12-foot spacing, like they did at AutoZone Park on Saturday night, you can get about 4,000, maybe 4,800 into the Liberty Bowl for the bowl game, for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. I don't think that is the model that makes it work for that bowl to be played. If it's better, where they could move it to spring and we play a limited season in the spring that ends somehow in May, and you play at the end of May, early June, your bowl games, and ESPN would be happy with that kind of programming, and that they're in charge of programming and they own some of the bowls, then that is a feasible thing. The other question would be, if you have those kinds of space restrictions for basketball, how many could you get into FedEx Forum? 1,200, 1,600? Yeah. I've heard plenty of basketball coaches say, even off the record, we can't go another year without the NCAA tournament because the NCAA tournament is so fiscally important. So maybe you would play only conference games, no fans, so that you could take the best 64 teams or maybe even 32 teams and put them in a bubble that you're talking about, Brett, and play those teams in that bubble at one site and make it a television show. Because the money is so important. Those are probably the more practical things. But, then again, maybe we get this, and I'm not even saying it's a miracle. When you hear about the news of Moderna, you hear about that drug company in Oxford, England, that they're starting their third phase of testing, and there's going to be 30,000 trials in this country from Moderna starting next week or the week after. And if those things work and we have a mass way of vaccinating by the first of the year or the end of January, maybe you can play in front of people by March or April.
That would be awesome. that would absolutely be awesome. And I got to give credit mentioning what it could look like here locally. Now, granted, I wasn't inside of AutoZone Park. I just walked by and went in the parking garage and watched a few minutes of the match on Saturday night from the parking garage that's right there adjacent to the stadium. And it looked great. I mean, the way they had it cordoned off and everything, and the way that I know that they staggered the entry for the fans, it felt kind of sad watching it because you just know what the energy normally is for one of those games. But when you're groups of 3, 25 seats, apart, it's just hard for the collective energy to be the same. But I thought they pulled it off pretty well. I think that's if we can do that, locally here for soccer, then there's a way to do that. I would imagine for basketball too. We got it. You're right. Well, whoever you talk to is telling the truth. I mean, it would be a critical blow. It might almost be impossible for some athletic departments to continue to function if you lose another year of NCAA tournament revenue. I mean, it's that big, especially for
some schools
that don't have football revenue. So,
schools may not be able to make it.
Yeah, it's got to be protected. That event has to be protected at all costs. And I think I have a little bit more faith in the leaders of the NCAA from a basketball standpoint than I do from a football standpoint. So I'm I guess a little bit more optimistic about our chances, not just because of the amount of time that we have to plan, but also just because of the good track record that they have of putting on a first class NCAA tournament every year, that they could, manage to, if they needed to, do a bubble tournament or whatever in March or April to protect that revenue source.
Are you going to be at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational?
Well, Stats knows that's unfortunately a no for me. I got a family obligation that I tried to, but I ultimately I couldn't squirm my way out of it, Dave. So I'm going to celebrate my in-laws' 50th anniversary, and I won't be at the golf tournament.
I would say that was probably a very wise decision on your part.
Good call, David. Good call, David.
Yeah, especially,
I knew you were smart.
Especially with really and truly the amount of leeway that you will have to cover this event. I don't think it will be much. I think you'll be in a press room watching on TV as opposed to me in my den watching on TV. So,
yeah, well, I was going to be mad if Tiger was coming and I had missed out on an opportunity to follow Tiger in his first trip to Memphis with no galleries. Like, that would have, I just would have never recovered from that. But the fact that he's not coming, I can sort of make my peace with it. So yeah, but still, I'm going to watch it on TV. I've been watching a lot of golf, so we can talk golf because I've been watching a lot of it. It's kind of my go-to thing now. I can't wait for Thursday to get here so I can turn on PGA Tour Live.
So who wins? Who wins the WGC? If you've been watching a lot.
Yeah, I think that I'm a little bit freaked out. Have you guys looked at the weather forecast? It's supposed to be in the 80s. This week during the tournament.
Heavy rain on Thursday.
Yeah, but good chances of rain for sure.
All right, so here's my theory. I think that if it rains a good bit this week, that course is going to get soft. And I think that Bryson DeChambeau, after having taken this past week off to, rest during the 3M Open, is probably dialed in his wedges a little bit. And if it's soft out there, that means he's going to be able to drive the ball aggressively and hold the fairways, and so I think he could do some real damage out here. He played here last year, and he's going to be back. And we know how well he's driving the ball. So if he gets the confidence and hold the fairways, I'm expecting his wedge game to be finally dialed in a little bit more after taking last week off. So that's kind of my pick. It's not a long shot or a sweeper by any means. But I think he could really attack this golf course if he has cleaned up his wedge game a little bit.
All right, now we got it. Cobb says DeChambeau. Butler has said Justin Thomas. We will make our picks on Wednesday. You stay healthy. Enjoy your 50th anniversary for your in-laws, and I would think that would be a very moving thing. So congratulations to them. Tell that we send our best, and we'll talk to you next Monday.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Bye.
That is David Cobb from CBSSportsline.com. This hour of the program is presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai and Homer Skelton Genesis of Olive Branch. And one thing I can tell you, the 2021 models have already started to arrive. If you get a new car from Homer, you're getting a limited lifetime powertrain warranty on every new vehicle on the lot. I'm talking as well as a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance deal on all the new vehicles. That's Hyundais and Genesis. My G70 could be a Santa Fe, could be the Tucson, which, by the way, was ranked number 1 by J.D. Power, the 2020 compact SUV for initial quality. You can also get the Veloster. That's the number 1 2020 compact sporty car for initial quality. These are J.D. Power numbers that say all of this. And I should also mention how good the Hyundai Certified Pre-Owned program is. This is where Ray Melton comes in. There's a powertrain warranty on some Hyundai certified pre-owns that goes up to 100,000 miles. You're talking about they believe in their product and safety. Oh, my goodness. Tied for the most number of top safety pick vehicles in 2020. Go see what I'm talking about with technology and see the way they do business. I think Chris True and his gang, they set the standard for the way car business should be done. Just get on Lamar, Highway 78 in Mississippi, exit 1, Craft Road, turn left. You'll see what I'm talking about. You will love Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. We take a time out. When we come back, we will revisit our baseball picks. We'll let you know if there's any news on the baseball front concerning the COVID and the postponement of 2 games for this evening. This is Sports Time on Sports 56.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and find your right fit. At Edwin Watts, they take customer service to a whole new level. Not only do they fit for clubs, they take pride in servicing customers throughout the entire store. They'll help you find the right shoes, bags, gloves, balls, apparel, and more. At Edwin Watts, you'll find name brand equipment at guaranteed lowest prices every day. So buy it, try it, they know you'll like it because Edwin Watts help you find the right equipment. Visit Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Hi, this is Troy 5 owner of 5 Reef Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? 5 Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5 Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Save now on your 2021 swimming pool at Family Leisure. Buy now at 2020 pricing and save your spot for the first installation of 2021. Patio furniture 20 to 30% off. Play gyms in stock. Beat the heat with an indoor game table or slate pool table. Pool toys and floats up to 30% off. Family Leisure, Witt Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Where family and fun come together.
It's Mattress Firm's Summer Save and Sleep event. Save up to $300 on our top-rated brands like Beautyrest, Serta, Sealy, and more. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select mattress purchase of $6.99. Or get up to 50% off select mattresses from our best-selling brands. Don't wait. Shop in-store, online at mattressfirm.com, or by phone for these amazing deals. Only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. Some products only available online. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together. So the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Halfway through this Monday edition on a day where baseball has had a bump in the road. There's no doubt about that. The Miami Marlins, Florida Marlins have a coronavirus outbreak. It has infected a third of the team, and of course, where they played and who they play next has been affected. 4 teams in all, because 2 games today are now postponed. The Marlins game with the Baltimore Orioles no longer going to be played, as the Marlins are still in Philadelphia. And
so the
Phillies,
Orioles will stay in first place.
Yeah, that's right. Not going to lose. The Phillies were scheduled to host the Yankees. That game postponed until I guess they do more work on the visitors' clubhouse where the Marlins were. The owners today met on a conference call after the Marlins news broke, and according to the Bleacher Report, canceling or pausing the season wasn't talked about at all. Instead, the league plans to double down on its already in place safety protocols, including cracking down on high fives and spitting while making masks mandatory in the clubhouse. Basically, their game plan remains to try and manage the pandemic. We'll have to see if anybody else comes up with this over the next few weeks, because remember, this is not a bubble. They chose not to try the bubble approach. This is, we're moving from city to city, hotels and everything else, airplanes and everything else that goes with it, and we'll see if it holds up. There's definitely doubt.
Now, Dave, I played a little Monday morning quarterbacking and a little rough on baseball about maybe the question, why not more bubbles? We now know, with the value of hindsight, that anything involving Florida or Texas would have been misguided. Maybe even maybe two, Arizona included. Mm-hmm. Where could they, and how could they have staged and scheduled using 6 to 10 to a dozen bubbles?
Well, I can tell you this: just because it's a volatile area or a spiky place doesn't necessarily mean you can't make your own bubble and keep it safe. I give you the NBA in what is the hotbed of Florida.
Good point. So great point.
I think they could have done that. That is real Monday quarterbacking, though.
It is. It's terribly unfair.
Yeah. The bubble is really a hard thing for 60 games over a few months. It truly is. You're talking about 8 games.
We don't know the NBA bubble won't be.
Well, we
burst.
don't. But we know this. Last week, all we can go by is what we know, right?
That's right.
You love to say that.
The known.
Facts.
That's right.
Here's the known.
The known.
Here's the known. It's 346 tests last week, 0 cases. That's last week.
And then we'll deal with the unknown when it becomes known.
Right. Exactly. Right now, the
unknown is really scary.
The known is one baseball team's got a third of their guys with COVID.
Now all those cases, 8 players, 6 non-uniform, non-players, team officials, and every single one of them asymptomatic. Not a sniffle, right. not anything appearing to be wrong. But as we have learned in this, that person you see down the hallway that appears to be very healthy, that could be the super spreader.
Well, it could be, and I got to give you the example of Boston pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez.
Huh?
He had COVID. I don't know if he was asymptomatic or not, but he now has inflammation of his heart muscle, which is myocarditis. That's the term. And we're not sure about long-term ramifications of these folks.
We're sure not.
That becomes scary. Okay, we wanted now to sort of revise our baseball picks now that we know, at least we're hoping that there will be an expanded playoff field. So you know how it works.
Hey, may I deviate just a little bit before we get into that?
Sure.
May I?
Sure.
If it's not appropriate, tell me if you want to.
No, go ahead.
Plow on. I know you and Drew, both, especially you, Dave. You claim to be such the hockey expert, and Drew is the foremost hockey expert in the South. I got the hockey bracket out. I'm too dumb to figure it out. Y'all are going to have to help me with it.
Well, it's pretty complicated to begin with in a normal season.
Well, don't they reseed?
Now they're reseeding this year.
Right.
I don't know how we're going to make hockey picks unless we do it series to series. You know, hockey starts Saturday, and this show loves hockey.
I don't know why you're even bothering. You can't figure out the format. You got to go by round. I'm not sure you even know the names of the teams.
And there's no need to be insulted.
You sure?
That's really not necessary.
Sure you want to do this?
But I do know the names of the team, and I've told you this story before. And now with the new
Kraken,
Krakens,
Kraken.
What are they?
Krakens.
Krakens.
You know what a
do
Kraken
you spell it?
is?
C-R.
No,
it starts with a K.
Well,
it's Kracken. See what I'm talking
it's
about?
Crackins. Krakens, isn't it?
No, Krackens.
But you know what that adds to, and I've told this story. I know I've told it on there, but Dave, you may not know the whole story. So in 2015, the night before the big Florida game in Gainesville, we're staying in Ocala, and our crew and bunch of sponsors, I'm going to say total about 15 to 18 people. You know what kind of dinner tab that racks up for someone.
Sure.
And we had the best wait staff person, great restaurant in Ocala, and he was great. And he figures out, you know, we're Ole Miss, we're sports, and he starts saying, you know, I'm a savant. I know all the sports trivia you can to know. David Kellum nicely said, "Stop right there. Don't do this to yourself. Stop right there." He goes, "No." He goes, "I got a question that nobody has ever answered. I will bet y'all's entire dinner tab that out of the big four sports in North America, the big four major league sports, you can't give me the 9 teams out of the 4 sports that their nickname doesn't end in an S." Harry Harrison said, "Son, please don't do this. Please don't do yourself like this." He goes, "Nope, let's do it." And they go, "Well, we got somebody who can answer it." When I said Heat, Jazz, Magic, Thunder, just that fast, the blood rushed out of his face. I thought he was going to pass out. He goes, "Nobody ever gets all the NBA." I said, "Man, I live in the NBA city. I cover an NBA team." I said, "Red Sox, White Sox from baseball." He goes, "Okay." I mean, shoulders drooping. And I said, "And from hockey, Avalanche, Lightning, and Wild." He goes, "Oh, my God, nobody's ever gotten it."
What happened?
So we go the next 3 hours. Well, no way we're going to stick this kid with his tab. No way. I mean, tabs with tip, 2,500. And his manager comes in, and we include the manager in on it. Just let him sweat. The manager comes in and goes, "Well, he's not going to lose his job over it, but I've asked him to never ask this again." And then David said, "Man, we're not sticking you with this tab. We're not going to do you like it. We take pictures with him and we're big buds with him, but now you add the Kraken to it."
Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken.
Yeah.
Just like I said, I know my hockey.
Kracken.
I don't think there's a C in there. I don't think there's a C in there, Dave.
I'm pretty sure it's Kracken.
No, you're.
I don't think so.
Kraken?
Yes.
Mr. Hockey, you better back up a little bit there, Bobby Hall.
Man. Okay, Mr. Makita. Stanley, one of my favorites.
And there's no NFL team that doesn't end in an S. But when I rattle off Heat, Jazz, Magic, Thunder just like that kid almost hit the floor and he stews for 3 hours thinking, "Oh my Lord, I'm gonna lose my job."
That is too good. All right, let's revamp the baseball. So you know how it works, right? It is the top 2 division winners. Top 2 division winners. That's 6 plus the next 2 best records. So it's pretty easy to revamp. I have in the National League the Braves winning, the Nationals finishing second, so they're in. In the Central, I have the Cubs winning, the Reds finishing second. Those 2 are in. The Dodgers and Arizona in the West, those 2 are automatically in. That's 6. Now, I've got to find 2 other teams from all the divisions that I think that will make it. I think the Cardinals, by record, will be the 3rd best team in the Central. That'll be better than, say, the Phils and the Mets, so I'll let them in. And I think the Padres will be the other team that will get in from the West. They'll be better than the Brewers or the Rockies or the Giants or the Marlins. So that's the way I've got it. The winners of the divisions, the second-place guys, and then the Cards and the Padres. Those are my National League teams.
You stole the Padres from you. They won 2 out of 3 this weekend and gave away the game yesterday. The D-backs able to get to the Padres. Good relief guy that had 41 saves last year. They got 2 Kirby Yates yesterday. The Padres are really good. I'm going to go Atlanta 1, San Diego 2, Milwaukee 3, Colorado 4.
Okay. You're assigning them a seed number already. Okay. I'm not doing that.
Colorado 4, Mets 5, Reds 6, Philly 7th. That's wild card of sorts, kind of, and the Diamondbacks 8.
Okay, so you went, I think, with all the same 8 teams that I have.
No, I didn't have. You had Cardinals. I don't have Cardinals.
Oh, you don't have the Cardinals?
I don't have Cubs.
Oh, you don't have Cubs. So
I don't have Dodgers.
You're out of your mind. Okay. All right. In the American League? Oh, wait, Drew.
I do have them seeded out. So I've got Dodgers 1, Braves 2, Brewers 3, Reds 4, Nats 5, Padres 6, and Mets 7, D-backs 8.
No Cubs?
No Cubs.
That is absurd. You don't think the Cubs are going to finish in the top 8?
It was odd seeing Joe Madden not in a Cub uniform. It is right now. I'm watching Joe Madden, and he's not in uniform, which used to be against the rules.
Right.
All uniform personnel in the dugout area are to be in a uniform. That's why we call it a uniform, not a schmuck, not a pullover.
They never used to wear masks either, and now they have to. He's got a mask on, too.
But you don't have to. But you could have that uniform on.
You could. In the American League, I like the Yankees and the Rays. That's in the East. The Cleveland Indians and the Minnesota Twins in the Central. Houston and Oakland in the West. And then I like the White Sox as one wild card and the Angels of Joe Madden in the other.
I have Texas 1, and they took a big hit today with Corey Kluber shut down with shoulder trouble. Yeah. Justin Verlander with forearm tightness and elbow. If you have forearm tightness, it's going to eventually get to that elbow. And we were just talking last week. Justin Verlander. No need for him to ever be too mad over anything, is it?
No, but now he's got a reason to be worried.
Worried's different than mad.
Yeah. No doubt.
Number 1, Texas. Number 2, Cleveland. 3, Tampa Bay. 4, the Southsiders. 5, the Bombers, the Yankees. 6, Houston. And without Verlander, Dusty Baker in his 23rd year of managing and already has done the number on Justin Verlander after one weekend. You know he'll ruin pitching every time.
He always misused pitchers forever.
Number 7, the Angels, and number 8, the Twinks, Minnesota.
Drew?
All right, number 1, Yankees, Astros 2, Twins 3, Rays 4, Cleveland 5, Angels 6, White Sox 7, and getting that last spot, Baltimore Orioles at number 8.
Come on.
Dave, it could be where the final 2 wildcard teams are picked by the 2 best teams. You don't think they're going to pick me. They're going to pick the
And others. It could. It's a very strong likelihood that somebody's going to make the playoffs with a losing record.
Oh, yeah. I think that could happen. But explain. What did you just say?
As of Friday, it's still a possibility that they haven't figured out exactly how they're going to do the last 2.
They figured out.
Did they figure it out? Okay.
So going by record and seed by record has nothing to do with anything else. Goodbye, Orioles.
It's not going to be.
Well, still they still get the 8th spot.
No lifelines on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and with Regis Philbin's passing.
Oh,
Dave.
yeah. They lived to be.
What a great life.
Oh, he had a great
life.
Great life. Great. And he was really a warm
his start,
person.
His start was being the straight man for who?
Joey Bishop.
Joey Bishop. Very good, Dave. Thank you. I couldn't remember. He was straight man and he was really the straight man for Kathy Lee and on that show.
He was the straight man for everybody. Yeah, I think he actually might have started like as an intern for Jack Parr, maybe. I think so. Jack Parr.
Good way to rise up the business.
And then went with Joey to try to compete with Johnny Carson. And then just was always in the mornings everywhere. And you know,
always fun-loving.
The thing I always liked about him was he seemed genuinely warm, and
sure
everybody you ever heard who dealt with him said that was the real thing. So that is great. All right, we are about to take a quick timeout here. But before we do, we open up the phone lines and the First Bank text line, 360-8255. We are giving away a six-pack to the Germantown or the Collierville commissary. You know, that's unbelievable pulled shoulder. You get 6 of them, a six-pack. If you can answer this question,
all the pros will be going there all week. It'll be filled. They have.
We had a texter on the First Bank text line, 67129, by the way, who already said he saw some players in there.
They will be getting it to go. It's contactless. It's safe. Some will be social distancing out on the patio where it's very safe, or in the restaurant where it's very safe. The pros will be out there all week. This is tough. Put your thinking caps on. 360-8255. Golf tournament historians. It's the same person who won the last event at Old Colonial and the first event at New Colonial. Who won to close it out at Old Colonial, and who won the new one out in Countrywood, who won the first year at the new one at Colonial.
There you go.
Same guy.
Name that guy, name the winner, and you will get a six-pack of commissary. And you know that shoulder's so good. The way they do it, and you mix in that sauce, slow cooked, old Memphis style. It is just outstanding. Nobody can beat their slaw that you put on it too. I like to get it on the side, and then I can kind of regulate on my sandwich how I put that on there along with the sauce. I love eating in. You can take out. Curbside at Germantown, drive-through in Collierville, plenty of space. You want to see some golfers, socially distant. Make sure you bring your masks. You can go in, both locations. Germantown Commissary, Collierville Commissary. You heard the question. Winner of the last one in Colonial, the new one at Southwind. Give us the winner.
No. Last one at Old Colonial. First one at New Colonial.
Oh, I'm sorry. First one
old and New Colonial.
And new. Same one. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I think I know who it is now. You name that person, you're a winner. We've got you in a minute. This is Sports Time on Sports 56.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
All 75 months at 3.14 APR, G4, LHFO 7822, Outlander LUO 28772, Eclipse LZO 16320. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 59875 excludes tax, title, and license. With approved credit, see dealer for details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Drive your ambition with a new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, $149 a month with 41 MPG highway, or buy for $12,435. 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is ready for any adventure at $229 a month, or buy for $18,533. And cross over to summer in a 2020 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Only $19,147 or $239 per month. And better yet, they're all backed by a stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Mirage G4, $149 a month. Outlander Sport, $229 a month. And Eclipse Cross, $239 a month. Feel safe and confident while shopping at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike. Or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Chris Price Rice here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
On Election Day, August 6th, Republicans have a choice. Are we a party of principles or a party of personalities? Will we stand for something or fall for anything? The Republican Party of Ronald Reagan won the Cold War by focusing on family, faith, and freedom. Today we have new challenges with disease and economic uncertainty. But if we don't lose our way, if we don't descend into petty squabbles and soundbite policies, if instead we focus on family, faith, and freedom, I promise you, we have solutions. That's why I'm asking for your vote. I'm George Flynn, and I approve this message. Paid for by Flynn for Senate.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We are having fun with the Big Q from the Germantown and the Collierville Commissary this afternoon. Very simple. There have been multiple winners, by the way, of the Memphis Golf Tournament, whether it was the Memphis Open, the Danny Thomas Memphis Classic, the FedEx St. Jude Classic, or the WGC FESJI.
It's a great history.
It's
a great history, Dave.
63rd
really year the PGA Tour will swing through Memphis, and we're under some trying times right now. We all know that. We understand it, and I think we're all going to be patient with it. It'll crush me not being out there. First time since 1999, second time since 1987 that I'll miss the tournament. Only the second time I've ever missed it at Southwind.
Whew. Man. Yep.
But it happens.
It does.
Dave, I told somebody with the tournament, sometimes you have lot A parking, sometimes you have lot double X.
So I want to clarify the question because I think we're giving away two, by the way. One to the first person who gets it right on the text line, just so you know, no one's gotten it right there yet. And then one from our callers on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255. So the question is, who won the last tournament at the old Colonial and the first tournament at the new Colonial? Same
guy.
Person. It's not the last at the old Colonial and first Southwind like I had it.
It's not Jody Mudd. It's not Jody Mudd, John Mahaffey.
It is not. And I knew that answer, and that's where I thought you were going.
And two really, really nice men and friends of Memphis. And, John Mahaffey was former PGA champion winner. That was a major winner to break in out at Southwind.
I remember.
You remember who led after the first day at Southwind, the first year of the tournament out there? Shot 62.
Who?
Larry Silvera.
Oh, gosh,
Did he lead the tournament after that?
I can tell you
Did Larry Silvera break 70 after that?
I don't think so. I remember this.
I think Larry had a good time the rest of the weekend that year.
Phenomenal round I ever saw at Southwind personally was as a senior in high school on his way to the University of Texas, David Gossett shooting a 65 on Friday. I couldn't believe he did that.
Yeah, that was something. That was fun. Man, that was electric out there that day.
Oh, it was. All right, Ed, it is your turn.
Hey,
First crack at it, Ed. Do you know who won the last at the old Colonial, first at the new Colonial of the Memphis tournament?
Okay, it's off the top of my head. Curtis Strange.
No. It is
Sorry,
not
Ed.
Curtis Strange. Sorry. We go to Dave. Dave, it is your
Not
turn.
Dave Hill, is it? It's not Dave. It can't be Dave Hill.
Who I thought might have been the guy.
I got it down to two players.
Well, you only get one.
Okay, I'm going to say Lee Trevino.
Bingo!
You're a winner.
Thank you.
Who was your
Mr.
other
Memphis.
guy? Who was your other
My
guy?
other guy was Dave Hill because he won it like 4 times.
Yeah.
Dave Hill won it in 73, the second year at New Colonial.
Yeah.
But Lee Trevino won it 71, old 72, new. Very good, Dave. Very good.
I honestly did not think Trevino played at the old Colonial. Apparently, I did not. And of course, I wasn't there then. But I knew Dave.
He played
Hill
there
had-
a couple of times. The first time he played there, he missed a cut. And when he left the course, he looked at us and he said, "I'll see y'all next year."
Well, congratulations, Dave. I'm going to put you on hold.
Way to go, Dave.
And you've got
Thank
a
you.
Germantown or Collierville Commissary 6-pack coming your way. We appreciate you playing. I'm going to check real quick here to see we've got a winner. The first one.
We do?
The first one, yeah, we're going to call you. This is a person who always texts us on golf.
01.
So, yep. And so we appreciate your constantly listening to the show and monitoring us. We do appreciate that. And now you get a 6-pack on us, and Drew will get a hold of you. But first, we've got to take a time out. We'll talk more golf. We'll talk some preps. And there's somebody who texted us with a very fair question today pertaining to the athletes in high school. The word from Shelby County Schools today was everything's virtual. Will that affect prep play? Originally, they weren't going to be allowed to play unless they went to class. They started to change that. We'll see what John Varlas thinks, the great prep writer and golf writer this week of the Daily Memphian. He's next on Sports Time.
It's Mattress Firm's Summer Save and Sleep event. Save up to $300 on our top-rated brands like Beautyrest, Serta, Sealy, and more. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select mattress purchase of $6.99. Or get up to 50% off select mattresses from our best-selling brands. Don't wait. Shop in-store, online at mattressfirm.com, or by phone for these amazing deals. Only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. Some products only available online. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops and find your right fit. At Edwin Watts, they take customer service to a whole new level. Not only do they fit for clubs, they take pride in servicing customers throughout the entire store. They'll help you find the right shoes, bags, gloves, balls, apparel, and more. At Edwin Watts, you'll find name brand equipment at guaranteed lowest prices every day. So buy it, try it, they know you'll like it because Edwin Watts help you find the right equipment. Visit Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Oh, hi. Okay, guess we should talk about something. Kind of tough to be put on the spot. Not sure what to say. But I know what I'm definitely not talking about. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
A non-attorney spokesperson. This ad is sponsored by the Ted O'Neill Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is one of the most common cancers in the United States. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and were exposed to Roundup weed killer, you could be entitled to cash compensation. Bayer, the owner of Roundup, will pay more than $10 billion to cancer victims of weed killer Roundup. Call our weed killer cancer hotline now to see if you are entitled to cash compensation. Roundup has been one of the most commonly used herbicides in the U.S. If you or someone you love has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and exposed to Roundup, call now. Our attorneys have the experience and specialize in fighting for everyday people to get you the compensation you deserve. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and were exposed to Roundup weed killer, even if the loved one has passed away, call 800-490-5979 now to see if you are entitled to compensation. But hurry, time is limited. Call 800-490-5979. 800-490-5979.
Start your day at Sunrise Memphis. Located in Midtown, enjoy delicious biscuit sandwiches and all their menu has to offer with quick and easy to-go and delivery options. Whether it's breakfast, brunch, or lunch, don't distance yourself from great food. For more information on Sunrise Memphis, visit sunrise901.com or call 901-552-3144 to place your order. Stay healthy and eat Sunrise Memphis today.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Busy final hour on this busy Monday for this busy week, golf tournament week, WGC FESJI week. At 5:30, we'll have Doug Barron to talk golf with us, both the Champions Tour and what will happen this week at TPC Southwind. And after I tell you about the title sponsor this hour, we'll have the quintessential great American sports writer with us, John Varlas from the Daily Memphian, who will be covering the events this week and always all things preps. But this hour brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales down on Goodman Road, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Go online and check out all the very happy referrals and very pleased repeat customers at DeSotoAutosales.com and take a look at all those beautiful cars, too, at their website, DeSotoAutosales.com. All the cars test-driven, checked out head to toe, bumper to bumper, every make, every model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find it for you. No shortcuts. You will be treated like family at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, down-home environment, laid-back atmosphere, no high-pressure sales. But they know we are living in a world today that time really matters. They won't put any pressure on you on the time, though. But you will have the ultimate car experience. You walk in within 45 minutes, test drive your car, credit approved, paperwork completed, all in about 45 minutes, less than an hour at DeSoto Auto Sales. In time to do it right now, immediately after work, or during your busy lunch hour at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Online at DeSotoAutosales.com. Come on down to DeSoto County for the town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
You called John Varlas the quintessential journalist who writes for the Daily Memphian. He's everywhere. You'll read him this week from the WGC at TPC Southwind. You will read him on Preps, and I got some questions about that. And we will talk some golf. But he also writes 901 FC Soccer. And I want to start there because he covered the first live home sporting event in Memphis with people. 850, I guess. They could have sold 1,000, only 850 come. I thought that was intriguing. And, John, I want to start with that crowd. And I want to ask you, I know they had assigned, I think it was alphabetical, assigned times to come in. When the game is over, though, how did all those people leave? Was that assigned too? How, in your mind, did this whole thing work out? Was it a success? Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thank you for having me, as always. Really enjoy talking to you guys. Yeah, Dave, it was assigned. They made an announcement with about 15 minutes to go in the match that everyone in attendance was supposed to stay in their seats when the match was over, and they would be escorted out by ushers, I guess, according to section or whatever. But just like the entry was staggered, so too the exit was also staggered. So they went out of their way to make sure everything was safe. I thought it was a resounding success, given all the limitations they worked with, and it's just unfortunate that Charlotte ruined the party for us because everything else worked out really, really good, I thought.
Well, it is crazy.
Yeah, and John, the Redbirds and Memphis 901, AutoZone Park officials, downtown officials, City of Memphis, a lot of people to be commended because we've got to take these baby steps back. And we saw today with baseball, one step back's like 55 steps back.
Well, yes, yes and no, Brett. And you know where I stand. I mean, we have to put our toe in the water at some point, and then once we put our toe in the water and we see, it's comfortable, it's doable, then we stick our whole foot in the water, and eventually we can submerge back in the pool like we were, in January and February. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was a really good job by everyone you mentioned. It was a tremendous effort to put all the planning and everything into place. I think the people that were at the game were happy to be there, and I think, as we go along and as we get into August, September, October, perhaps things will start getting better on the case front, and perhaps we'll get to a point later on in the season where we'll be able to have more fans in attendance than the 1,000 we had. There's AutoZone's a decent sized venue, and we could fit well, I don't want to sound like the expert, but I think we could, conceivably have more fans in there at some point this season.
I did think it was telling, though. They could sell 1,000 tickets, I believe. You correct me if I'm wrong. And only 850 came. That means there were 150 that could have gone that, there just wasn't enough people that felt safe enough to do it. Is there a message that we get in that?
Well, here's the thing with that, Dave. There were people on the bluff as well. There were people. I mean, I'm sure Fielder Square Apartments are right next door to AutoZone Park, and they have a little venue for the park residents where they can gather and watch the games from a separate venue there. And there was a pretty good sized crowd there. And and what's interesting is that group, obviously, since they weren't in the park, they didn't have to wear masks if they chose to go that route. I also saw quite a few people watching from the apartments as well, so from their balconies and whatnot. So there might have been some people that were for whatever reason not down with the mask requirement that still found a way to watch the match. And that could be it, but like you said, there could also be some trepidation of going out. I think it's like I was just saying to Brett. I think you gotta try it and see that it works, and then hopefully it's like opening restaurants. You open the restaurants, a few people are going to go, but then gradually as people communicate and share experience, and they say, hey, it's not too bad, we can do this. That's what's going to take. People have just been scared for so long. They're not going to jump right in. It's just going to take time, and it's going to take more examples like Saturday night to show that it can be done in a safe, responsible way. And once they realize it, I think things will start coming back online eventually.
And John, you had to go through all the same safeguards. You had your temperature checked. Did you have to have a mask on in the press box?
I did have a mask on in the press box. They were very thorough with us media types. They asked us if we had been around an infected person, if we had been sick, if we had a fever, all that good stuff. And yeah, we wore the mask. We followed the protocols. They had us, well spaced out in the press box. It actually wasn't the press box, Brett, like the usual press box.
Right, more suite level.
The bow tie bar, which was actually pretty cool because it was a better view of the field, to be honest with you. But
you were more midfield.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. So yeah, they took care of us well. All the press people followed the rules. The post game was safe and socially distanced as well, and we were able to do our jobs. And again, kudos to 901 FC because their press representative said to us, hey, what was it like for you guys? Is there anything we can do better for next time? And they're really working with us as well, just like they're working with the fans to have a good experience.
All right, now tell me, what is it with this team blowing late leads? That was the story of last year. I thought maybe it was going to change with what happened in Game 2, where they were the ones that were able to get the draw in extra time. But, man, they revert again against Charlotte the other night.
Yeah, David, you know this as much soccer as you've watched over the years. I mean, soccer is just the most unforgiving sport to make a mistake. You can win you can have 2 or 3 errors and still win a baseball game. You can have 20 turnovers and still win a basketball game, or 4 or 5 turnovers and still win a football game. You have a mistake at the wrong time in a soccer match, and you're playing against a good opponent like Charlotte. I mean, they're going to make you pay. Memphis, dominated the match. They dominated possession. They won, twice as many corner kicks. They were consistently strong going forward. their defense was tremendous in the first half, particularly the first 30 minutes of the match. I mean, Charlotte didn't even test Tim Howard for the first 30 minutes of the match. It was by far Memphis's most complete match of the season. But like you said, they let down at two critical times, and it cost them a point. And I know those guys are frustrated. There's no rhyme or reason for it. I mean, it's not like they're bad players. It's not like they're not working hard in practice. It's just a frustrating situation. And in a game like soccer, you make a mistake at the wrong time against a good team. It's just going to kill you. And unfortunately, it's like Brandon Allen said, they've just got to find a way at the end of matches to buckle down and get a win when they're ahead, or they cannot afford to keep turning wins into draws and draws into losses. They got to find a way to get these positive results somehow.
John, I just don't know enough about the sport. I'm completely ignorant to the sport. I've not watched much in my life, and I don't know the sport. But it is that unforgiving. All the sports you cover, you think it is the most unforgiving for one mistake can really wreck you.
Yeah, I do stats, and the reason is because the scoring chances are so few and far between. A legitimate scoring chance comes, very rarely in the match, and you have to take advantage of it. And conversely, when you're on defense, you have to, you can't, you have to guard against it. Yeah, it's that's why it's different. I mentioned basketball. Every team has what, I mean, how many possessions does a team have in a normal basketball game? It's over 100, right? So, if one possession or two possessions or 10 possessions don't go well, you still got plenty of other possessions. In soccer, you have to work so hard to create a good chance on goal. Everything has to go right just to get in position to score, and goals are so rare. That's why the chances are so precious. And conversely, on defense, to guard against those chances are equally precious. And if you let down for 1 second, man, you're in big trouble.
How is the ultimate defensive position, the goalie? How is the old man Tim Howard playing?
Well, it's funny, Dave. Like I said, I mean, if they could play the whole game like they did the first 30 minutes against Charlotte, he could play till he's 55 years old because he didn't have to do anything in the first 30 minutes. I mean, their defense was awesome, and the old saying, a good offense is the best defense. They were constantly putting pressure on Charlotte, and Charlotte, couldn't get a decent look at goal for the first 30 minutes of the match. So yeah, you can't blame Tim Howard for the goals. I mean, they were defensive breakdowns. On the second one, there was question on whether there was a foul committed in the build-up to the play or not, and the Memphis players were adamant that there was a foul. Coach Molfling was adamant, post-game that there was a foul. But the ref said no foul. So what can you do? But yeah, Tim Howard's not the problem Saturday night, and he's played well. I mean, it's there's a problem in the center of defense. I don't know if it's lack of match fitness. I don't know if it's lack of communication. I mean, it's still early in the season, so it may be a communication issue, but it's definitely something that they need to work out going forward.
And this week you will be on golf at TPC Southwind. You were with us last year at that. We will miss you. We will not have any shows out there this year for the 2020 global pandemic. I texted Dave about an hour ago during the show. I said, boy, aren't we glad we were able to be together for the global pandemic in 2020?
Well, I'm really looking forward to going out to the WGC. It's not going to be the same. It's certainly not going to be the same without you guys and all the fans and all the attractions that we had last year. I mean, I think everybody that went out there last year, media, fans, golfers, I think everybody had a tremendous time last year, and it's not going to be the same. But, what will be the same is the golf, man. I mean, look at the field we have. Stats, we got the top 8 golfers in the world. We got, 8 of the top 11 in total. The defending champion, Brooks Koepka's back. John Rahm is here, newly crowned number 1. I mean, we got some great talent coming in here. I'm really looking forward to seeing it because, I'm just, I'm in awe at whatever professional athletes can do, race drivers, soccer players. I'm in awe at watching the best do what they do. But, watching some of these golf guys do what they're able to do on the golf course is just astounding to me. And seeing these guys operate at the high level is going to be a real treat. And I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm curious. You had to go through all these new protocols with 901 FC. How different do you think? I can remember for the WGC, the security was incredible. It was 3 times what we normally would have seen, where you had to go through those gates and get wanded and empty your pockets and park in a different lot and take the shuttle. It was totally different. I'm wondering how different it will be this time for you. Are you parking on the grounds because there's a lot of parking available now? Or how do you think covering it this year will be different from the way you used to cover it?
Well, I think it's going to, like you said, Dave, I think it's going to be similar to the 901 FC thing on Saturday. There are going to be restrictions. I'm sure they'll be doing the temperature checks and the questions and all that stuff. I know that, I know that they've drastically reduced the size of the media. I mean, you guys remember the media center last year. It was a real beehive. And,
it was giant.
And I'm not expecting anything like that this year. I mean, it's going to be really restricted on numbers and bodies and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it the same way. I'm actually going to go out there tomorrow and, snag my credentials and kind of get the lay of the land of it and everything. So I'll have a better sense of it tomorrow afternoon, but I expect it's going to be a lot of the same in terms of precautions and safety. And really they don't have a choice. I mean, it's just the way it is. We can debate, various issues about coronavirus, but if you're going to have a tournament, they got to do what they got to do. And we got to respect that.
I'm curious about access. I know to players that it'll all be like, I don't think you'll get close to them. I don't know if it's a Zoom setup or how they do that, or there's one guy in there and the player is being interviewed away at a podium a long way away. But I'll be curious as to seeing how close you can actually get out on the golf course to watch a guy play.
Yeah, I will be too. I mean, I think you can. I think with golf, it's probably a lot simpler than other sports because there's a natural, social distance anyway. I mean, you're there on the tee, you're behind the ropes. I mean, it's way more than 6 feet under normal circumstances. And without a sizable gallery out there, I don't think it'll be any problems for the media and the handful of corporate spectators that'll be out there. I'm not expecting any problems on that. And the interview situation, yeah, it might be a little different, but if you do a podium situation and have microphones and that kind of stuff, I think you can, pull that off fairly easily.
And John, we're right here on the eve of what traditionally is the start of high school football practice. I think some would have been going today, getting ready for games on Friday night, August 21st. Those aren't going to happen, I think, on any day in August. How do you feel about the schools, the Shelby County school decision today, and where do we stand on high school football that you cover so well and with so much passion? And, John, you can tell. I don't think anybody can do anything well without passion. You love your station and lot in life. You love your Friday nights, and it shows.
Oh, well, I thank you, Brett. And it's like you guys. I mean, you guys love what you do, and it comes through out on the radio. I mean, I was cracking up the other day listening to Dave trying to remember Jeff Blatnick's name, and then you and Drew got on him about Bearcat Brown and all that. It was good stuff, but it came across as how much you guys really enjoy what you're doing, and the good camaraderie and the good atmosphere you guys have created over there. It's fun, and you can tell. But to go back to your question, Stats, we're still in a hole. With the ball is in Governor Lee's court. If he can. If he chooses to grant the exemption to high school athletes that he's granted the college and the pro athletes by August 3rd, then we will get started on August 21st. The TSSAA's goal, their desire is to have a 10-game regular season with full 5 rounds of playoffs. Now that won't come to pass if the governor doesn't grant his exemption by August 3rd. And, as you can see, looking at the calendar, that means he's got to grant it this week. If he doesn't, they've got plans scaled in place to scale the season back, push it back to September 18th, and then have an 8-game regular season with a shortened playoffs. And, but so that's where we are on that. It's going to be interesting. It's weird. Tennessee is the only state around here with a state of emergency in order stats. You look around at Alabama and Georgia and Missouri, they've all got plans in place for a normal high school football season. The only thing that's delaying that in Tennessee is the state of emergency order and the limitation on contact practices that comes with that. So if Governor Lee sees fit to grant an exemption between now and a week from today, the TSSAA wants to go for it full speed ahead. If he doesn't, we'll have to scale back and see accordingly.
Well, that would be incredibly tough because these guys have had no contact yet.
Right.
We had Major Wright on I guess last week when a lot of this was coming down, and so you've had some conditioning. Nobody's touched the football, not least Shelby County schools. Nobody's
got in a stance.
And here's the other aspect that we have to check for sure. Today, the superintendent, George Ray, decided that everybody would be going to school virtually. So there's not an option to be on campus. There was a period of time where when you were actually getting an option that you had to go to school to be eligible to compete in athletics. Now, I think that was walked back. Now, what will they do?
At the latest, that's not an issue anymore, Dave. At the Board of Control last week, the TSSAA passed a motion that, athletes will be eligible regardless of the district is virtual or not virtual. I mean, they're very clear on that. So that's not going to affect Shelby County school students in any way. If they're virtual, they're still eligible. And I think the reason the TSSAA did that is kind of because of what you said. You wouldn't want to penalize kids that would go to school if there was an option, and that option is taken away. So you wouldn't want to penalize those kids. So I think they've, just said, hey, as long as you're enrolled in school, you're eligible. But yeah, going back to your question, the TSSAA is clear. They want 3 weeks of full contact work before the first game of the season. And if they get the exemption before August 3rd, then they can have 3 weeks of full contact work before August 21st. If they can't get an exemption, obviously that pushes the 3 weeks of full contact practice back, and that conversely, pushes the start of the season back accordingly.
I guess we're going to have to wait a week. John, you're going to be very, very busy here momentarily, and I know you're happy about that. We'll love reading you.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out with Rombo and Webb Simpson and all these great golfers, man. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Don't get in DeChambeau's way. That's all I can say.
I've heard he's kind of a prickly one, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is, John.
Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John Varlas, with us from the Daily Memphian on all things that he covers so very well. Hey, everybody, all the new 2020 Silverados, they're right there in Olive Branch on the lot at All-Star Chevrolet, where all the Chevys are, Blazers, Equinox, Impalas, Camaros, and the all-new 2021 Tahoe. We're ready to turn to 2021. They've already done it at All-Star Chevrolet with the 2021 Tahoe. The rows and rows are at All-Star. They've delivered for Chevy's huge open road sale up to 15% off, thousands in cash back for you. Check out the certified pre-owned Chevys. If you want a specific pre-owned car or truck, tell them what you want. They'll find it and they'll get it here fast. Best financing for everybody. No matter what Chevy you're looking for, they've got it at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. We're making sure all you do is it's very safe while you get the best deal, have more fun, and do it in record time. That's job number one for all the great folks at All-Star and their great customers. Remember, it's not South Haven, not the Pike, not Collierville, not Mount Moriah. It's got to be Olive Branch. See them all online at allstarautogroup.com or find new roads to All-Star Chevy on Kraft Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
This portion of the show also brought to you by Supercuts. As a locally owned hair salon business, nothing is more important to Supercuts than the health and safety of their team and, of course, the Memphis community. All Memphis area Supercut salons are now open. They are seeing clients. They are safe. and they've got what they call the Safe Salon Commitment in place. The Safe Salon Commitment was developed in partnership with top infectious disease doctors to maximize safety and sanitation in all the Supercut salons, which means when you're ready for a haircut, they're ready for you, and they're prepared to see you. Learn more about the Safe Salon Commitment and prepare for your visit at supercuts.com. Back in just a minute, we'll head north to Flint, Michigan, where our man Doug Barron is getting ready for the first Champions Tour event of the year, and he's also going to check in with us on what he thinks will happen in the WGC FESJI. Doug Barron is next.
R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1. Don't miss us.
It's July, and you know what that means, Memphis. It's time for our anniversary tent sale going on now at Sunrise. And just in time, too, because GM just announced employee pricing for everyone on almost all new Buicks and GMCs. Rebates as big as $7,000. Discounts up to $10,000. Over 500 used cars and trucks in stock with a great selection of late-model GM-certified vehicles. And we specialize in cars under $10,000. Bad credit, slow pay, bankruptcy, it's okay at Sunrise. No clowns, no gimmicks here, just big savings. Look for the huge tent on Highway 64 in Bartlett, across from the Wolf Chase Mall. Call, click, or come in. We make it fun to buy a car.
These are certainly unprecedented times, but as a plasma donor, you can receive $100 for your first donation. Plasma Biological Services is seeking healthy donors, as well as those who fully recovered from COVID-19. Your plasma may be used to help those who are still fighting this virus. If you have tested positive for COVID-19 and have fully recovered, then please call 866-END-CV19. That's 866-END-CV19. You can also go online to griffolsplasma.com. That's GRIFOLS plasma.com to see how your plasma can help save others that are hospitalized with COVID-19. If you're eligible to donate, new donors will receive $100 for their first donation, and current donors will receive additional compensation in August. Please call 866-END-CV19. That's 866-END-CV19 or online at griffolsplasma.com for more information.
Summer is the perfect time to tackle those indoor projects on your list, like escaping the heat and refreshing your home with new paint. Lowe's has you covered with our #1 best-selling color, Agreeable Gray, and accent colors like Snowbound and Retreat. Plus, you can get Valspar's dual scrub and stain resistant Ultra Interior Paint Plus Primer starting at just $24.98 a gallon every day. For ideas and inspiration, download the Lowe's app and discover what's possible. U.S. only.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Cruising through our final hour. It's brought to you in part by Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and of course now there's the sewer help. Yeah, is your home's main sewer line backing up? If you do have that issue, probably you got some plumbing fixtures in your home that are backing up. Better call Conway. They come out $99, the main drain opening special with accessible cleanout. They will come open up your home's main drain. Again, it's $99. If it should clog again over the entire next year, they come back, they open it up again, they check everything out, and that's on them. It is free. Sometimes these tree roots start growing. Many of them find their way right into your sewer line. $99, you don't have to worry. You're good for a year. If you call 384-3511, that's Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and now opening up that main drain. So Doug Barron must be going crazy, out of his mind, bored, because he hasn't been able to play golf.
And Dave, on the Crawl on the Golf Channel, they have the top 10 champions players listed, and he's been stuck at that same dollar amount for too long. Doug, we got to add to that.
I lost you there for a second.
He's saying
we got to add to that money total that's been stuck at the bottom of the Golf Channel Crawl. It seems like all this year when they run the top 10 money winners. We got to increase that this week.
I'm going to do that this week. So.
How are you? Let's start with, so this is the very first tournament. Took them the longest to get going. Right. And you're in Flint, Michigan. How many tournaments are there? How many will you get to really play in this year, and how you feeling?
I feel good. We've got 12 events left, and I'd imagine I'd play about 10 of them because a bunch of them are in a row. So I would think that I could get in 10 out of the 12. That'd be good. So it's not the same schedule as like our normal schedule is 1 or 2 and then a week off, but I think there's going to be up to 7 or 8 in a row at one time. So I'll have to take 1 week off there and we'll just see how it goes. So
how's your game?
My game's really good right now. I played 2 mini tour events getting back ready and won one of them. And then I had knee surgery 11 weeks ago and that went really well. So I can walk and bend over and mark my ball again, so that's nice. So I'm ready to get started. I think it was good to see a bunch of the guys today. A lot of people are excited about playing golf again. So,
are you pain free, Doug?
In my knee. I just got the rest of my body that hurts now.
It just shifts somewhere else now, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. No, I'm doing pretty good. I'm swinging the club really well and. I took the weekend off. I turned 51 on Friday, so kind of had to kick back and see how we did a lot in the last year, so it was pretty cool. So.
Well, your ride began on your 50th birthday, since we're marking your 51st.
Right.
On your 50th was
a year ago.
Was in overseas at the British Senior Championship, where you started to really make your name.
Yeah, I played a practice round with Joe Durant and my friend Scott Farrell and Dickie Pride, and we had a great day. And I called my wife going, this is the greatest birthday ever. It was cool.
And then you won a tournament after that, after your top, 5 finish or 3 finish it was at the British? Then you won a tournament.
Then won the next tournament. So that was pretty cool. So it's been a pretty exciting year for me.
I
hear y'all got a little tournament going on there this week in Memphis.
We do, and I would like your take on that. 45 of the top 50 players. You, I know, can remember just a few years ago, and I'm not picking on Fabian Gomez, but when he won that tournament, that was more like a Corn Ferry tournament leaderboard than it was a major tournament. And now we got the top 8 players and 45 of the top 50. It's come a long way, baby, huh?
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm really happy for the city of Memphis. I think in 5 years they'll really realize how fortunate we are to have this tournament. So
really
unfortunately, no fans. But I thought Tiger Woods may show up because of that. Who knows? But he didn't. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to say it for the however many straight year in a row. I'm disappointed in him. So.
Yeah, one of these days we will be very elated when he's here. But, Doug, through the years at TPC Southwind, you've played it a lot. Tell our listeners, what is TPC Southwind? Is it a bomber's course? Is it a second shot course? Is it a putter's paradise? What is Southwind?
Well, it's got the second smallest greens on the PGA Tour behind Harbortown. And so I don't think it's a bomber's course still to this day, a par 70. And if you look at the winning scores for the last 5 years, it's not really low compared to some weeks on the PGA Tour. I think that's why you can get a range of players that seem to win they made some changes. They've redid some bunkers. The course is absolutely the best I've ever seen it. Our superintendent, Nick Bazans, just does an amazing job. And I think that it's going to look incredible on TV this year. So really excited to see it.
How tough have they made it?
Well,
what do you think wins the tournament?
I think anywhere, it depends on the weather. If we get some wind, it needs to be breezy. But I'm saying somewhere between 12 and 15 under. These guys hit it so far now. I mean, I think Bryson DeChambeau is going to drive the second hole this week. So I'm already made a bet that they're going to be rebuilding hole 2 after putting a new tee box after this year, after what he does to it. But I think they didn't make the course any harder. They actually made the third hole easier, but it's a much better golf hole. And then with the bunkering, I think it made the course easier, but it just gives you better lines now. I just think they did an amazing job on the redo of the bunkering, and then they redid hole 3.
What did they do on hole 3? I know they took the tree that was by the lake out, but what else?
So they moved the tee back into the left, and they moved the fairway actually a little bit farther to the right, so you actually got more room and you have a better angle at the green. And they took the trees, the long trees out in the middle of the fairway, and then they took the tree in the middle of the fairway from 100 yards out and put a little bunker area right in that area. But the hole to me is easier, but it's a much better golf hole. I think you're going to get rave reviews from the tour pros on it.
What percentage of players can make that in 2? That's a par 5.
I think most. There's only 2 par 5s on the course, and I think they're both reachable every single time. Yeah, so I've reached number 3 from the back tee already. So yeah, it shouldn't be a problem for those guys. So it's just a matter now. If you want to go for it, sometimes there's a lot of trouble around that green, obviously. So, but they definitely made the hole better. It's very enjoyable now. So,
do you have a favorite hole or 2 at Southwind?
Well, number 7 is I've always told people, and you can probably prove me wrong, but I think the front nine's harder than the back. I think holes 7 and 9 are 2 of the best holes on the entire golf course. The back nine's obviously exciting because of all the water, but I've always thought the back nine was way more scoreable than the front. And 7 and 9 are 2 of the best par 4s on the golf course. I love them both. I think they're great finishing holes for the front nine.
I think 8 is actually a better hole now too. They've leveled that right side off. It looks better.
Lauren Roberts actually helped with that hole, so that made it. I really thought they did a great job with it as well.
You mentioned Bryson DeChambeau.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about him.
Well, I don't know him that well. I know my friend Tom Bernice out here is good friends with him, so I think he's a friggin' genius. I'm just telling you, I think it's pretty cool that people take a chance to better themselves. And I mean, look what he's doing with his driver. I mean, I don't know if you watched the tournament in Detroit a few weeks ago when he won, but it was absolutely phenomenal where he was hitting the ball and in play every time. So, and then if he was out of play on a 570-yard par 5, he'd have an 8-iron in. It just, he really, that week, I told someone, mark that week because he really changed the way golf's played right there. So, you always thought Rory and Dustin and those guys, but I mean, he's literally, I think he's got Rory and Dustin Johnson's attention with the way he's hitting it. So, just phenomenal.
But it's so different. He beefed himself up. I don't know, 25 to 35 pounds more. He looks like a football
40.
player instead of a skinny guy. It's all muscle, and with his weird swing, which you have to describe, apparently he can swing hard every time.
Yeah, well, what I would say, just by talking to Pernice, who told me this, he said, Doug, you gain all this weight, you can always take off what you want. So, but the hard part is the gaining it. So, it's hard. I mean, I don't know if you've read what he's eating, but he's having like 6 shakes a day to go with his meals. I mean, it's unbelievable, the calories he's putting in. So I don't know that a cardiologist would approve of his diet.
No.
It's phenomenal what he's done to his body.
And
sometimes, that golf ball.
Sometimes, Doug, it's not so easy to get off, by the way.
No kidding. No kidding. So, well, he's young.
Do you think anybody
married.
else will try that?
Man, I think you'll see some guys on this tour actually in the off season try to do something. I mean, I just thought of myself, if I added 10 more yards, I feel like I would be in contention every week, you know. So, and I have the capability of doing that. I've been working out really hard at home, but I haven't quite got in. I'm actually going to talk to Bryson at some point in the off season and have him help me or put me on the right person. So,
Are you going to cut every club to six iron length?
No. I'm not changing my clubs. I'm sticking everything the same. But I would love to add. I'd love at my age to. I still have the capability of adding a little bit more speed to my swing, even though I hit it fairly far. I mean, he's got everyone thinking about what can you do to make yourself better, and not really. I don't ever want to change my golf swing, but I'd like to add 3 or 4, miles an hour of ball speed in that to it. It'd be pretty exciting.
Dustin Johnson and Brooks,
and that can be done.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, and that can be done. Doug, who knew that Billy Casper was ahead of his time?
No doubt. No doubt. Oh, what a great player that man was. So
he sure was. For a big, heavy-set man.
Yep. He's got that little Matthew Wolf move. So, anyways,
who else? Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm excited for the fans to get back. My biggest question is, after the regular PGA Tour season's over, I hope we can get the fans back involved a little bit more. I really am positive about that, though. I'm hoping that happens.
How weird will it be in Flint for you to play without any fans there?
It's just different. I mean, I think it's easier to concentrate with fans. I think most people would tell you that. But we'll see. I'm just glad to be playing a golf tournament again. And go out and compete again against the best. So I'm excited. I can't wait to tee it off Friday. So it's kind of laid back today. I went ahead. Lauren Roberts and I both took the early flight. I took off at 6:45 this morning. I was a little skeptical about flying, and it turned out to be I felt pretty safe. And I don't know, not dogging you media guys, but the damn media will make you think about this COVID virus. So I'm trying to take it pretty serious.
Well,
I don't want to get it.
150,000 deaths would tell you need to take it pretty serious.
Well, I get it.
Yeah. What are some of the strict no-nos once you get there from the Champion Tour officials? What are some things that just are forbidden?
The goals this week, they don't want us to eat out in a restaurant. Obviously, Michigan's still one of those states that's shut down, so they kind of prefer us to get our food and eat it back at the hotel this week. I'm fine with that. I took the COVID test last week at home. I took the swab up the nose, and I couldn't go to the course. That's why we flew up early this morning. You can't go to the course till you pass that. So I got here. By the time I got here, it was 11 o'clock, and I did the swab test, and I went ahead and checked in my hotel, and I had to wait a couple hours to see if we passed. So every week that we're off, like next week, we got to go through the same thing. We'll take a test while we're home, then they do the swab test when you get there, and then the weeks we play in a row, they can test us. Kind of keep an eye, monitor that. So it's different. So
everybody's staying in the same hotel?
There's 2 hotels that everyone had a choice of. We're all staying right here, and then while we're in the food and the clubhouses, they want you kind of eat and get out of there. They don't want you hanging around talking, but that's the main reason this tour one of the main reasons is guys have been friends for 30 and 40 years, so it is nice to see a lot of people today. But they're very strict up here in Michigan because the governor pretty much has the state shut down, so we're just trying to do the best we can with what we got this week. So
who are the guys?
I think it'll loosen up as the weeks go on.
Who are the guys to beat this week for you?
For me, all I have to do is beat me, not beat me in the brain. So I don't know. I think you got a couple new guys. I think Furyck's coming out for the first time, and Mike Weir's out. I never really think about who to beat. I'm always just seeing how good a score. The cool thing about this week, the course is going to be really firm and fast, and Lauren Roberts and I went out and played a couple holes late this afternoon. It was fun. The ball's rolling forever. I've never seen this course play this firm, and they're predicting 0 rain this week. So I'm excited to play a firm, fast golf course here. It's always seems to have been wet over the years when I played here. It was really wet here last year, so it'll be a totally different golf course.
What's the yardage you play?
It's about, I'd say it's about 7,100.
Oh, wow.
Started, you can pull it up. Yeah, we've only played like 2 courses under 7,000 yards.
I thought they came down a little bit. They don't come down too much on you guys.
Lauren told me they've lengthened, but I just played my first course under 7,000 yards. I think Naples this year was the first one, and then Newport Beach was the second one. But they keep them right at 7,000. This one, I think, a little longer, but like I said, it's not going to play that long. It's firm. So.
All right, last thing. Give me your FESJ winner.
Man, I've thought about it. I really like Roy McIlroy. One, he's starting to play good, and he went on a streak there where he had like 6 straight top tens. I like him, and then my dark horse would be a guy that's won there twice. Would be Daniel Berger. So those are my 2 picks. It's hard to bet against a guy that's won there twice. So
no question.
And I don't know about Dustin Johnson because I don't know about his back. So I would normally say Dustin Johnson, but I'm still not sure if he's playing or not. So
we don't know either. He hasn't withdrawn, so that's the good news. You take care. We wish you the very, very best. You know that, and we'll talk to you as soon as you get back.
Well, have a great week. It's a great sporting event in Memphis. I know our fans can't go, but it's going to be great on TV. So.
You're not kidding. Thank you, Doug. Good luck again on the week. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
That is Doug Barron, who is playing for the first time this year on the Champions Tour in Flint, Michigan. This portion of the show is brought to you by the good folks at the Eflin Insurance Group. That's my friends, Matt Eflin, Brett Linder. They are now together, and together they give you the access to a multitude of A-rated carriers. They're locally owned and operated since they've merged. We're talking about experience in the Memphis community, about 1955, but you add them all up, everybody, about 300 years of combined insurance experience. They do personal. They also will do business. Not everybody does. They do, specializing in home, auto, umbrella, and that small to mid-sized commercial account. Service first. That's the way Matt's always been, where he'd sit you down, and he would check with you exactly about what your most important needs are for your family or what you have to protect the most with your business, and he and Brett still do that. They treat your family like their family. You want to know more? It's simple. You make the call. They're both big Tiger fans, so they have the special Tiger number, 901-386-GER. That's 901-386-4777 or 901-757-2305. Get protected with the Eflin Insurance Group. And this portion of the show is also brought to you by Homer. Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, a genesis of Olive Branch, too, where the new 2021 models have already started coming in. Wait till you see this Genesis SUV. It is coming in September. All the new cars, limited lifetime powertrain warranties, every new vehicle, 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance on all the new vehicles, too. That's thrown in on a Hyundai or a Genesis car. And you know how good these are. 2020 Compact SUV of the Year for the smaller ones, the Tucson. The Contract Sporty Car, #1 this year, the Veloster. And you talk about safety, the most number of top safety pick vehicles in 2020 was Hyundai. Go see what I'm talking about. See my crew. You'll love them. They've been around forever together. They're the standard of the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. Back in a minute, we got Crunch Time coming your way with a big wrap-up of Sports Time on this Monday.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Hey, it's Amy Lawrence, and if your idea of a big, bold summer is hanging out around the backyard barbecue, I've got a snack that will fit right in. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Yep, a bold-flavored snack that's more craveable than potato chips and the perfect low-carb alternative to breadcrumbs in your favorite recipe. You gotta try the Korean kimchi barbecue, spicy dill, pasilla chili cheese, and blackberry habanero pork rinds. This summer, start your own flavor adventure by downloading our coupon and finding new recipes at porkrinds.com.
Visit your local Kroger today for your Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds.
Eat well and stay healthy with Sweetgrass Next Door's to-go and delivery service. From shrimp and grits to pork chops to chocolate chip cookies and more, feed your need. Located in the heart of Cooper Young Midtown, Sweetgrass Next Door makes for an easy to-go, pickup, and delivers to all of Midtown, most of downtown, and even East Memphis locations. For more information, visit online sweetgrassmemphis.com or call 901-278-0278 to place your order today.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Men over 40, is your body feeling soft and not as lean? Are you losing your energy, drive, or even your passion? If so, you could be feeling the loss of growth hormone. The reality is, as early as 25, your natural production of GH begins to significantly slow down, which means you start slowing down. Well, listen to this. New GH Boost from Nugenix is the world's first and only non-prescription supplement that safely supercharges your body's GH production at night when it naturally occurs. Clinical studies show the ingredients in GH Boost can increase your body's own GH levels more than 100% in just the first 90 minutes. And right now, Nugenix is letting every man in America try a complimentary 2-week sample by texting WATCH to 231231 now. Get GH Boost and get your swagger back at the gym and in the bedroom. It's killing it at GNC, but you can only get your sample by texting WATCH to 231231. That's WATCH to 231231. Text WATCH to 231231.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, we hit fame. We beat you with the deal, we get in fame.
Welcome back in. Winding our way through our Monday edition. I'll let you know this final portion of the show brought to you by the Spirit Shop. My good friend Eddie Connor and his family since 1969. They've been making sure everybody's happy in East Memphis, right there at Poplar and St. Nick, 4848 Poplar. That little log cabin is famous. Right down from Clark Tower, you've passed it by a million times. It has everything you want when it comes to spirits. That could be tequila or vodka or the best of bourbons or gin. It could be the greatest of wines, or it could be the up-and-comers. It could be the bargain. It could be beer. It could be any accessory, including the seasoning that you're going to rim a glass with. It could be chips for all we know. And it's full of advice. You want to go talk and chat with Eddie Connor, he'll come out and chat with you. If you would like to educate yourself on anything that has to do with spirits, he knows it all. He truly does. And he tries to help you. If he doesn't have it in stock, he'll go out wherever he can. If it's legal, he will bring it in for you. So go stop by. Everything's curbside. Call in advance if you'd like. The Spirit Shop. Stop by to restock from the weekend. Stop by the Spirit Shop today. It is time for Crunch Time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is Geraldo. It is Crunch Time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working? It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Woo! Woo! Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Dave, I learned today that in mid to late May, some whispering that Nick Saban may have lost that recruiting touch. Jeremy Pruitt, Kirby Smart, two of his proteges were out there ahead of him, even Dan Mullen, Dabo Swinney ahead of him. Not so fast, my friend. Right now at Rivals, Alabama ranked 5th in recruiting at 24/7. Alabama's ranked 2nd in recruiting. They have been mopping up one of the great Julys ever in recruiting. Tigers T37 at Rivals, tied with Auburn, and now 39th at 24/7. What'd you learn?
I learned today Kyrie Irving, I guess, can be a generous, nice guy. I've never been, well, I shouldn't say never. I have not been of late a Kyrie Irving fan, but he committed $1.5 million from his foundation.
Real money.
To help the WNBA players who felt it was unsafe to play in their bubble. If they opted out, he's going to pay them some of their money. I thought that was one heck of a nice deal.
Way to go, Kyrie Irving. Could have done without the next Babe Ruth, Shohei Ohtani. His ERA, it just keeps running and running and running wild through space and beyond. He didn't get anybody out, Dave. It just keeps going. It's out there into deep space, way past Neptune and Uranus, not the other word.
Well, guess what? He'll just hit the ball then. If that keeps up, he'll just become
he's hitting under 200.
An everyday player, yeah. This is, I hate this story, but I'm going to give it to you because it just happened about 30 minutes ago. The first death of a child with COVID-19 confirmed in Shelby County. The child was 11, according to the health department website, but this person was being treated for another condition at hospitals in Memphis, so there's an underlying condition. But for the most part, not many children have been affected. This one at 11, the first child in Shelby County to pass away.
Very sad. Keep a close eye on everything baseball-related tonight, testing-related. How many teams would represent a tipping point? Cubs-Reds on the field should be good. Reds against tough lefty John Lester. The Reds are real good against left-handed pitchers. Brewers at Pittsburgh, that Pittsburgh lineup without Josh Bell, it looks like a double-A team.
We thank Ted Butler and his pick today, Justin Thomas. We thank David Cobb from the CBSSportsline.com. We thank John Varlas, and he's going to be out at WGC all week. And we want to thank Doug Barron, who called us from Flint, practicing for his first Champions event. And he's in awe of Bryson DeChambeau, which I thought was interesting. That'll do it. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk